All right, let's talk about it. So, you guys might know, probably by this point, that a while back there was a whole big situation in which me and my family were publicly doxxed on Twitter. And in response to that happening, I made a 2.5-hour video breaking down everything that had occurred up till that point. The whole point of the video was to basically showcase that everyone who had been saying things about me were chronic and pathological liars. They were people who were falsifying evidence, twisting truths, or just straight up making shit up. There's a lot of hard evidence in that video, and if you wish to go watch it after this one, if you haven't seen it by now, you're more than welcome to do that. A little bit after that video, somebody by the name of Welon or Martyr Welon or something like that would go on to release a video called DBD's Most Hated Comedian, which is, I can't decide if it's flattering or downright insulting because I'm not exactly that known in the DBD community. I mean, I am known in the DBD community, but I wouldn't say I'm the most known to where I'd be the most hated comedian in the DBD community. It's a very interesting title, but the video is shit. It would go on to basically lay down a foundation that I, quote, faked my own doxing. After a while, I would get harassed, what feels like endlessly, by not only Mater, but other people within his community, and you'll find out later, a self-admitted friend of his, and more. And I would explode on stream, to which Mater would make a second video, again filled with out-of-context things and lies and manipulation. And I tried my best to ignore all of it. I just wanted it to go away. I literally just wanted it to go away. I wanted to live my life in peace and quiet. I wanted to make my shitty little YouTube videos, and I wanted to spend time with my family, and I wanted to just work on the dream that I've had since I was 9 years old in peace. But people just can't do that. People literally, they just can't. They can't ever seem to just leave me alone. I guess in a way, there's a part later on where Mater is in his second video. Mater's going on about like, oh, you know, Kaiser is this, like a bunch of stuff he considers insults, and some of them are, some of them aren't. And he's like, Kaiser's an easy target, and I recognize that. Right. I've recognized that for a long time, that I'm an easy target. And I guess being an easy target just means that I have to have a more solid mental than most people, which is why I made that whole video where I was like, hey, I don't care if people are like saying that I'm an asshole or that I have an ego, you know, the small shit. I don't care. Leave me alone. Stop. Because people do it all the time, right? They'll see a tweet, or they'll get a Discord message, or they'll see there was a YouTube video that had like 2 views that somebody sent me. I'm fairly certain they were the one that made the video. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, where they were just like, Kaiser screams at his chat, and I was like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I'm just gonna start ignoring shit. In fact, recently I made the what's the word I'm looking for? I made the decision to ignore most negative comments. I feel like, you know, most of the negative and hate comments that come my way are just looking for attention, so I try not to give it to them. I've even stopped really banning people who are like being really annoying. You know, like sometimes I have people that like every single video that I post, they like come to it just to leave a negative hate comment toward me. I've even stopped banning those people because I just simply don't care anymore. Like I legitimately just don't give a shit. I just want to make my content, and I read something stupid and I go, well, that's stupid, and then I move on with my life. But Mater has caused me to literally not be able to fucking rest. Like, I think I can go maybe a day, if I'm lucky, before somebody else will bring up his shithole video. People have tried to join my Discord for it. I think one person joined my Discord and like spammed the link a bunch of times. They got insta-banned because we have a bot set up to stop you from doing that shit. But so they joined and they spammed the link a bunch of times. I've had people like come to my Twitch and try to post the link. I've had people follow my Twitter and like post it under like a bunch of like irrelevant posts and stuff like that. So I've been dealing with this dumb shit for too long. And today I opened up my dashboard and I saw somebody who I felt, or I thought, had far more faith in me than what they were showing, saying that they were worried because they saw this problematic video and they wanted me to address it. And while I don't think that while I don't like hold them in such high respect that I'm making this video just off of them, I am tired. It is starting to reach my regulars, right? And I would hope that my regulars would have a little bit more forethought when dealing with this kind of shit. But it is what it is. So with that being said, let's go ahead. It's a very long script. It's 39 pages. Hopefully this video does not end up being another 2.5 hour extravaganza, but let's get into both of Mater's videos and all the bullshit, and hopefully by the end of this, I can be left alone. Mater's first video starts off with a banger of a claim, saying that I faked my own doxing.
In this video, I will bring new evidence to light that in my opinion proves Kaiser the Bard faked his own doxing.
He says he will provide evidence to back it up, but this video provides no evidence of such. Instead, he will spend the next 25-ish minutes claiming that Tomie never doxed me, despite, you know, posting my personal Facebook to Twitter, and by Mater's own admission later on in this video, handing that information out to other people, including Mater. He then spends the next 3 minutes or so poorly recapping my history. He will then go on and insult my comedy, make light of my divorce, because I made one video where I felt her and I were doing well, and then another video later where the divorce happened. By the way, that marriage was incredibly abusive. She emotionally manipulated me, cheated on me, told me that she thought of killing me every day. Also, shortly after that, my dad died, and I did make a video of that. The most emotionally crushing time in my life that had me tasting the metal of a shotgun. Thanks, Mater. Thanks for making fun of that, you insensitive pile of shit. Roommate, so I don't know you.
Personally, I think the funniest thing Kaiser ever did was upload a video of him bragging about how well his relationship is going and giving out advice how to become more friendly with your in-laws, only to follow it up with a breakup video, which is unintentionally hilarious. But at the end of the day, it's besides the point.
You'll actually see Mater do this a lot. He brings up small things here and there, then calls them irrelevant. If it's irrelevant, then why do you bring them up? I know why, of course, but I'll wait till we are done covering this video to show you. Anyway, he goes out of his way to bring up a nearly 2.5-year-old drama at this point, one that was not only covered and talked about by both me and Aaron Duke, but also me and the other party are on civil terms, as far as I know anyway. I actually ran into him during the Skull Merchant PTB, and he was very cordial. In any case, this is the first real instance of Mater taking things out of context, which he loves to do. It's his bread and butter, his secret talent, if you will. He frames my success as people tuning in to see whether or not I would explode in anger. In fact, when I do get angry or upset, my views go down. When in reality, my growth was due to my discussion channels and Aaron Duke covering the past drama. He also removes all context from that drama, but the point here is he wants to paint me as an emotionally unstable because it makes me look less reliable when it comes to the words I say.
Since he was definitely an entertaining streamer to watch, because he was always like an emotional mess, so casual viewers had no idea whether or not he would lose his shit completely while playing the game normally.
2 fucking flashlights! Oh my god! Why? Why do y'all constantly bring 50 fucking flashlights? You absolute fucking loser! One thing I will give Mater over Tomie is Mater is very smart and meticulous about the way he does things. He knows how to paint the picture he wants to paint, and he knows how to make it look natural. In any case, there's no point in bringing up that old clip except to remove all context from that clip and pretend like the story of it being my dad's birthday, and I was dealing with bully squads back to back, and I apologized to people afterwards, and I took accountability for my actions. All of that doesn't matter. Just I got angry during a video game. Anyway, he then follows the rage clip up with a clip of me having fun, calling me a maniac.
Or whether he would start laughing like an absolute maniac while also just playing the game regularly like any other person.
Go for it! So I'm not allowed to get mad, and I'm not allowed to have fun. Awesome. By the way, this is important to remember for later. This is all in the interest of making fun of me or insulting me. Remember that, because it'll come up later on. He then says I decided to move in with my mother. This is also false. My mother and I have been helping each other with bills since my dad's death. In fact, since before my dad's death. I moved back in with my parents when they were living in a house with another person after my divorce. I was chronically sick at the time, suffering from seizures, and I wasn't able to work. And so I had to move back in with my parents after my ex-wife cheated on me with 3 people and then kicked me out on the street. And even then, I wasn't really living in a home while I was looking for a job. And I was desperately looking for work. But what little money I could scrounge up, I would give to my mom to help her with rent over at that house.
Now, in January of 2024, he then made the risky decision to quit his job as a waiter to try and make YouTube videos full-time, despite barely making any money on YouTube. But he decided to move in with his mother, this guy is over 30 by the way, to save up on rent so that he wouldn't have to work anymore, and therefore he could outperform every other YouTuber in his niche and make his lifelong dream to become a content creator a reality, which is why Kaiser has almost doubled in size since January of 2024. I mean subscribers, and not physical size, by the way. So
he also implies living with my mom at age 30 is somehow a bad thing. I mean, dude, it's 2024. A lot of adults have moved back in with their parents. It's just the financially responsible thing to do. I'm single. I don't have any friends. I mean, why would I live with people I don't know when I could just live with my mother, who I've known for 30 years? It's a weird thing to make fun of. Like, I understand that, like, back in like the 80s or whatever, it was like a big thing. Like, once you're 18, you got to get out, got to get on your own. But like, as time goes on and the economy just gets worse and worse, more and more single people are just living with their parents. It's just something that people do, bro. It's just a weird thing to bring up. Once again, everything about this opening spiel is in the interest of berating me, disguising it as some sort of rundown or history. He also gets why I quit the restaurant wrong. This is important for later as well, by the way. He then makes fun of my weight, also important to remember.
To summarize, Kaiser is a morbidly obese, emotionally unstable man in his 30s who has been on a weight loss journey for over 15 years, that lives with his mother, who he constantly complains about on Twitter, by the way, despite her letting him live with her for free, even though he again is in his 30s, and he only really got anywhere on YouTube since him living with his mom and not having to work gives him the ability to outperform literally everyone else in the content sphere, because he has no other responsibilities other than making YouTube videos. He can focus on them all day. So it's no secret that I do not respect this guy. I don't respect him as a man. I don't even see him as a man. And I definitely don't respect him as a YouTuber. But I am not here to bully Kaiser. I actually want him to get better, but I will circle back to that at the end of the video.
He then gets why I quit the restaurant wrong. I didn't quit the restaurant to pursue YouTube as a career. I quit the restaurant because I was sick and tired of them not doing anything about the people that should be fired. Again, I've told this story. Like this is. I'm going to try not to get sidetracked. I'm going to try to stick to my script here, but this is just something that Mater does constantly. I mean, constantly. Just easily available, easily accessible information he just gets wrong. Like, it's embarrassing. Anyway, he then makes fun of my weight. That's also important to remember. And after a barrage of insults hurled my way, a false claim about my weight loss journey. I have not been on a weight loss journey for 15 years. I did not gain back. I did not go back up to. So, okay. So, I can't believe I have to do this. Okay. So, when I was 18, I was 495 pounds. I lost well over, I got from 495 to 270 in like the course of a year. And then from 19 to like 21-ish, I plateaued about 260 or so, give or take. And then when we moved to California, I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have a job or anything like that. And so I gained a whole bunch of weight back. Then I went on another big weight loss. So I went from 320 down to 280. And then after that, after I quit my job at the grocery store, we moved here to Kansas, and my weight fluctuated a lot, but after my divorce, my weight skyrocketed. Or actually, no, it was probably during my marriage, right? Yeah, during my marriage, my weight skyrocketed. Because like I said, I got sick at one point. I was having chronic seizures. I wasn't able to work because of it, and we were having trouble getting me disability. And that's actually where the original kind of YouTube thing started. Was that I was doing it as like a hobby. It wasn't until my car would get totaled by some idiot who ran a red light that I had to quit doing Uber driving. It wasn't a fun experience, but that was when I really started focusing on YouTube and streaming and stuff like that. I became the house husband. My ex-wife made a lot of money at that point in time. After my crash, she started making more money, and so I became the house husband, and I cooked and I cleaned and I did my part around the house and all of this other good stuff, and life just fell apart. But so during the time with my ex-wife, my weight went back up, and then it wasn't until November of last year that I actually started taking my weight loss seriously. So I've actually been on a real weight loss journey for about a year or so. Actually, I think November will be a full year that I've been on it. When I started focusing on eating less, moving more, I started swapping out, the normal Cokes for the Coke Zero. I started learning how to do lower calorie alternatives. And I'm proud to say that I've lost around 60 pounds over the course of this year. So thanks for making fun of something you literally have no idea about. Again, you insensitive prick. He says that my mother lets me live with her for free. This is, again, false. I paid off my mother's car recently. I paid the electricity, the internet, I paid for food, I pay a portion of the rent, and I'm also paying for my car and my credit cards. I pay my fair share. Mater will say in the end of this video he's been nothing but objective, but in reality, he's just not. This nearly 5-minute opening has literally nothing to do with the subject matter at hand. Everything in it is for the purposes of making me look as bad as he possibly can. Which I will remind you was that I faked my own doxing, of which the doxing in question is something we have literal evidence for. But whatever. On top of this, he completely gets nearly everything incorrect. It's honestly impressive how many lies and falsities are in the first 5 minutes of this ignorant video. Mater then just straight up admits a bias against me. He says he doesn't respect me as a man or a YouTuber, which he says he doesn't see me as a man, yet continues to purposely misgender me throughout this entire video. I will get to that later. And does nothing but spread lies and false truths over and over again to justify his shitty fucking attitude toward me. He claims my success is only because I can outperform every other YouTuber. Wait, is this jealousy? Are you jealous because my content does better than yours? Well, you don't have anything to worry about, because ever since I went variety, it's kind of stopped performing as well. I bust my ass every fucking day to come up with content. I spend hours writing, recording, editing. I run multiple channels. I put actual work into this, and you're jealous because I have more time to put into my craft than you do? That's pathetic. That's actually pathetic. Yeah, I get it. It could be rough. Sometimes I wish I'd been able to start this earlier, right? I wish I had had the money and the time and the foresight to start YouTube way back in the day. And I mean, actually start it, right? Like learn how to edit, learn how to write, learn how to do all of this. I wish I could have did it too. Sometimes you don't have the same opportunities people have, but like while you have like financial stability, I assume because of the way you talk and everything like that, which you're blessed with, I don't. I'm busting my ass, risking my life, risking homelessness and hunger and all of this other shit so I could achieve my dream. So I'm fucking sorry that I have the opportunity to work with my mother to pay part of her bills and part of my and all of my bills in order to make this work for me. I'm fucking sorry, bro. Come on, man. This paints this entire video completely different. I originally thought when I first saw this shit, you were just Tomie's friend trying to defend his abhorrent actions, but no, you're just another loser who doesn't like me and decided you would join Tomie and other losers who don't like me to try to take me down and ruin my life. As a quick aside, I love how your bio states you started your channel to support, not spread negativity, but you've spent the past year just making these stupid-ass expose videos, and I haven't watched any of them, but if any of them are as bad as this one, then it's not a wonder you just crossed the 1,000 subscriber threshold until you made 2 videos on probs and 2 videos on me. 1.3k and 2.2k, I think, at the time of recording this. Whatever, man. Anyway, after bullying me for almost 6 straight minutes, he says, "I'm not here to bully Kaiser," and we finally get to the fucking point. What I will give Mater is he does acknowledge that the doc Tomie made was dumb as shit, contained lies, and basically amounted to, wah wah, grown human being is horny on Twitter. So good on Mater for not being a complete dishonest piece of shit.
A few months ago, Tomie decided to make a Google document on Kaiser. Now, the allegations on this document amounted to basically nothing. Nothing at all. These allegations, if you can even call them that, boiled down to Kaiser bans people from his Discord unfairly, and Kaiser acts horny on Twitter, which, even if both of these things were true, I still wouldn't care about them. The fact that Kaiser is basically Hipster 2.0 on Twitter is so incredibly irrelevant to me that I'm not even gonna bother going into detail about it. So for time's sake, I'm just gonna say Kaiser did nothing wrong by being horny on Twitter or whatever Tomie's original point was. However, Tomie releasing this document on Kaiser did put him on the map as someone willing to go against Kaiser.
But the next dishonest statement comes at 7:31 when he says that Tomie's channel got nuked by my fans for merely announcing that he had allegations.
And he ended up making one mistake that got his entire channel nuked by Kaiser fans. And it wasn't just posting the allegations and running with them, but instead it actually was him simply announcing that he had received allegations.
That's not what happened at all. Tomie not only said that he had my personal info, including my address and phone number.
I'm not entirely sure how that happens, but I think they have deleted their account. They basically messaged me with Kaiser's full information, address, name, all of this really fucking creepy shit.
But that he was looking for people to hand it out to in that first video.
And I am currently trying to find any fucking American who is willing to record themselves calling the restaurant and actually finding out if this is the case.
Now, Mater does cover this video and say that he felt that Tomie is irresponsible and shouldn't have made the video, but then he turns around and pretends like the reason people were mad were for a completely different reason than what the video is. I don't understand the cognitive dissonance it takes to both admit that Tomie made a video that made it look like he was about to dox me, and then also admit that I was right in making my first video saying, hey, Tomie's threatening to dox me, and then turn around and pretend like people are mad for anything other than the threat to dox me. Mater then goes on to straight up admit that Tomie gave my personal information to him.
However, the problem here was the way Tomie phrased it.
And I am currently trying to find any fucking American who is willing to record themselves calling the restaurant and actually finding out if this is the case.
Now, this is a terrible way to put this. This sounds like Tomie was just willing to hand out Kaiser's full personal information to anyone willing to call his old place of work in order to verify these sexual harassment claims. Now, this would be hugely irresponsible, and I would definitely define this as doxing, because even though Tomie probably just wanted to verify his claims, since he himself couldn't do it without receiving huge phone bills because he lives in the UK and the workplace is in the US, he definitely could have put Kaiser's life in massive danger by giving out his personal info to someone with secret malicious intent. So had Tomie actually gone through with that, I would 100% be on Kaiser's side, even though Tomie even stated multiple times in the video that you should not share private information of another creator, and he discouraged his fans from doxing Kaiser multiple times. But still, you can't just go and send doxes around. However, the thing is, Tomie never actually sent any revealing information to anyone except me.
Now, Mater claims two things here. One, that Tomie only gave it to him, which we have zero evidence for. And two, that all Tomie gave him was a name and a phone number.
Announced his plan to investigate Kaiser. And my immediate reaction was, holy shit, Tomie doesn't know what he's doing. He's about to give another creator's personal information to potentially dangerous people. Therefore, I immediately reached out to Tomie, claiming I would be down to do it, so that Kaiser's personal information wouldn't fall into the hands of the wrong people. So if anyone was wondering who received the quote-unquote dox, it was me. Now, this dox wasn't really a dox, it was just Kaiser's real name, which anyone can find by going onto his Instagram, which he links under every new video. He even linked it in all the videos where he talks about quote-unquote being doxed, and the phone number of the restaurant manager who used to work with Kaiser. So
which we also have zero evidence for. We only have Mater's testimony that Tomie did not give my information out to anybody else, and that Tomie did not have all of the information Tomie claimed to have. This is a problem. This is a very big problem, because Tomie has shown himself multiple times to be incredibly untrustworthy, and as you will see through the course of this whole video, so has Mater. Mater is a completely untrustworthy source. So outright admitting that Tomie gave you information is just I mean, with all the lies you're about to tell throughout this entire video, including several gigantic ones, I don't know that I can trust that Tomie didn't give you all the other information. I don't know that I can trust that Tomie didn't hand you other stuff. This is, I mean, to just admit that Tomie doxed me. By the way, the definition of doxing is searching out and publishing private or identifiable information. Tomie searched out my information and then gave it to you. You just admitted Tomie doxed me. Outstanding. And the reason for this is so important is because after my 2.5-hour video exposing the harassment I've faced from various people because of Tomie's actions, that will be important later, I was approached by the original person who sent Tomie my supposed information. This is the Discord account of the evil resident, the person who Tomie named in the Google Doc he released after my video in order to attempt to clear his name, which he doesn't do very well anyway. The evil resident admitted to lying to Tomie because Tomie had approached them and asked them to dig up dirt on me and claimed I was causing a child to self-harm. Apparently most of this was done through voice chat so that he couldn't receive heat if it all blew up later. I have no confirmation of this, however. This is just a testimony of the hidden player within the story. They said they never gave Tomie my personal phone number and address. So now we have a few options and none of them look good for Tomie or Mater. Number one, Tomie never had my address and phone number and said he did because he wanted to scare me, in which case my video showing his doxing threat and his subsequent doxing are still valid because for all I knew, Tomie had that information. Tomie only got my first and last name and some bullshit story about being fired for sexual harassment and then took it upon himself to get things like my address and phone number. Or number three, there is yet another person who doxed me to Tomie and handed him that information. So none of it looks good. Like, if you don't have things like an address and phone number, why the fuck would you say you do? I don't trust Tomie to not have gotten that information somehow, and I certainly don't trust Mater that Tomie didn't give him anything further. It's also worth noting that Tomie claimed in his video the Twitter DMs were deleted.
But this person has deleted their account since, I think, the message has just disappeared from my Twitter, and I'm not entirely sure how that happens.
But then posted a document showing he had the fucking DMs anyway, so there's just another lie to put on his mountain of others. But anyway, in the best case scenario, Tomie lied about having the information causing me constant anxiety, and even without that information, he still posted my personal Facebook to Twitter, emboldening the evil resident to then go and post the personal information for the rest of my family, and Tomie would not speak onto it until after I made a 2.5-hour video exposing his and everybody else's bullshit, which was nearly a full day after the events occurred. Anyway, with all this being said, it really doesn't matter how much personal information Tomie gave to Mater. The point is, he still fucking did it, and Mater just admitted to it. Not only admitted to it, but reached out to Tomie to get the information. But here's the kicker. According to Tomie himself, he did not just hand that information out to only one person. In a follow-up video that Tomie deleted before I released my 2.5-hour video, but then reinstated later on, he stated that he had multiple people lining up to grab my information.
I've already found multiple Americans who are willing to help me fucking find the story, and they are people that I trust. So basically, fuck you, Kaiser, coming for you very shortly. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
So at the end of the day, not only is Mater completely untrustworthy because the real thing to do would have had to been to tell Tomie to delete that information and quit being an idiot and not take the damn information, but he is also leaving out the words that came out of Tomie's own fucking mouth. My real name is known. I do have it on my Instagram. However, that does not give anyone the right to go out and seek information I don't share publicly. And what's more, it doesn't give them the right to post that information to Twitter and then remain silent as someone else steps up with that information they provided to then dox my friends and family. Staying silent until after I expose you for staying silent isn't taking a stance. Furthermore, the definition of doxing, for all of you wondering, as I've said earlier, is to search and publish private or identifying information about an individual, typically with malicious intent. And I would say asking someone to dig into my life would count as searching for private information. Publishing that information to Twitter for the purposes of having people know my information is also malicious intent. Remember, Tomie's entire problem with me stems from the fact that I said leakers who put leaks in titles and thumbnails where people can't avoid them are pieces of shit. He admitted as much in one of his videos. He hated me because I called people like him a piece of shit, and then went off on this multi-month campaign to try and ruin my fucking life, inspiring people like Jason to make videos with wild accusations, posting threads where he attempted to paint me as some sort of sexual deviant, and more. Tomie has this petty fucking vendetta with me, and every few months he recruits another asshole to come up and take a swing at me, and my guess is once the sexual related allegations weren't working because Tomie has zero evidence for anything, they went on to act like Tomie didn't dox me or that my doxing was all my fault, which We're getting too soon. Anyway, Mater once again claims that he was the only one to receive information with no evidence. That is true. And since we are on the subject, I recently went to my old restaurant to get some lunch, and my old manager told me the restaurant had received 3 calls about it. They, of course, shared nothing with those people because that would be sorely irresponsible and illegal as fuck, but it makes you wonder if Tomie handed out the information to other people, or if his recklessness in posting my personal fucking Facebook to his Twitter caused it to happen. Even further, Tomie had an entire Discord server full of people who meant me harm. How do we know he didn't give it to anyone in there? Mater's claims to being the only one to receive the information, regardless of what he did with it or not, doesn't hold any weight. Tomie's maliciousness is endless, with him recently coming after me again with the actions of someone else and painting it as if I had some responsibility to act on it, which, by the way, I already had nearly a month prior. Tomie would have known this, but he feels the incessant need to make everything regarding me public. Tomie remains unblocked on Discord. He has all the access in the world to me at any time with actual problems or complaints, and I would have been willing to bury the hatchet with him had he given me a genuine fucking apology for being an asshat and trying this fucking hard for this long to get my career ruined. Now, we finally get on to the bullshit. Mater is about to make a claim that is not only easily disproved, but the entire basis of this video. I said that Facebook is for my friends and family only. It's there so I can add people in my personal life, and this is true. Mater claims it's not, however, because he claims that I have a Facebook profile linked in over 80 videos and that I promoted this profile, so obviously this Facebook isn't for personal use.
That Kaiser, in my opinion, completely lied about his Facebook. Would you be shocked to learn that Kaiser actually promoted his Facebook on over 80 different videos on his channel? Not only did he mention it a lot in older videos, but he also had it linked on over 80 different uploads, some of them with thousands of views. He even made a video talking about a story with his in-laws on Facebook, where he then went on to, you guessed it, promote his Facebook. He linked his Facebook everywhere on his channel, and if maybe he then changed his mind and removed all the links, then you can argue that the account became private, but all of these links are still up to this very day. I literally found Kaiser's Facebook in under 5 seconds by just going onto his channel and typing in Facebook, and over 80 results came up. Kaiser's Facebook was never private.
Except, if you click the fucking thing, you will see it brings you to a business Facebook account, which has no connection to my personal Facebook, because the entire point of a business Facebook page is to promote your business without having your personal information attached to it. That's right. That's right. You guys heard all of that right. This entire video is based on a Facebook link, based on a claim of a Facebook link that Mater didn't even click. And that everybody who came after me about this didn't even click. This is the most embarrassing lie in this entire situation. Everything I'm going to go over from here on out, of all of them, this is the most embarrassing lie. It would have taken 2 seconds to click that link and you would have known it. And instantly, nearly everything else in this video falls apart, because the entire basis for me, quote unquote, faking my own doxing and setting Tomie up to post my information and pretending like Tomie did dox me when I, quote unquote, gave my information out, is all based on this link that does not lead to my personal Facebook page. So either Mater didn't even click the link and just ran with this crackpot theory, or he did, realized it wouldn't support his bullshit and ignored it. For the rest of the video, every bit of argument Mater makes hinges on this being a link to my personal Facebook profile. All of it. Every claim, every out of context rambling, the claim that Tomie is innocent of doxing me, it all hinges on this one claim, and it turns out to be false. And to everyone who believed this bullshit without confirming for yourself and then proceeded to harass me for weeks until I exploded in anger so Mater could clip me out of context on a second bullshit video, fuck all of you. Every single one of you are fucking pathetic. You couldn't take 5 seconds to double check the claim and decided that it was worth coming after me for. I left an entire Google Drive of evidence in my last video available for you guys to double check on. I also multiple times reiterated that Tomie should not be attacked, harassed, doxed, or anything like that. In fact, I strictly deleted shit as simple as his country of origin when it would pop up in my comment section or Discord. Even information that is publicly available, as Tomie keeps those things linked and written in his bios and videos, I did not allow, because that's what you're supposed to fucking do. So fuck all of you for your instant turning on me without doing any research on your own and making my life hell for the past month and a half. Anyway, moving on.
It was always his public Facebook account, which is why he uses the same profile picture as on so many other public social media accounts of his. And this
He brings up the same PFP being on my Facebook and my other social media as evidence that the link leads to my personal Facebook. But brother, I'm just not photogenic. When I take a photo, I think it looks good. I use it on everything because I rarely take good photos. Just click the link. Literally, just click the link. Just click the link. He harps on this for another like 2 minutes, literally leaning on the idea that this link leads to my personal Facebook and not a business Facebook account that hasn't been used since fucking July of 2021, before saying he's going to tear apart my 2.5 hour long video.
Now that I have explained to you why I believe the Facebook doxing claims were absolutely false, I am now going to tear apart Kaiser's 2 hour 15-minute long exposed video on Horror Tomie.
He does not. The very first thing he does is claim that the video is an exposed video on Tomie. But it isn't. The video is called Lies, Harassment, and Doxing. I'm tired of it. And in the video, I state that this is about showcasing how everything being hurled at me for months was not only lies and falsities, but that people behind these claims were pathological liars. And it was, at the end of the day, Tomie's fault these people rallied against me with these false allegations. The video was not about exposing Tomie. It was about exposing the mountainous amount of lies Tomie and his friends participated in. It was about showcasing everyone who was involved in the lies they were spreading. Tomie wasn't the only one the video was about, because he wasn't the only one coming after me. I had countless Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter DMs of people harassing me over and over again, spamming Jason's videos to me, calling me a pedophile, a racist, telling me to kill myself for claims that Tomie made and that Tomie propagated others making. Remember, this all started because Tomie posted a document that was not only poorly researched, but had no evidence of any of the claims. Literally, all Tomie had was testimonies from other people and a bunch of pictures of me liking the occasional horny shit on Twitter. It had nothing. It had no backup for the claims of someone's video being copyright struck by me. It had no backup for dick pics existing in my server. It had no backup for the child porn. It had no backup for any of that. It had no backup for anything that Tomie put in that document, and he self-admitted to that. Remember, at the end of the day, had Tomie just went, wow, I don't like Kaiser because he insulted me, and moved on with his life, we would not be here, what, 5 months later, 6 months later, something like that? I feel like I'm going insane. Tomie never spoke out publicly about the mountainous amount of false shit being hurled at me. He recruited someone to try and get my personal information, and he claimed to them that I was putting a minor in danger in order to get them to do it. And here you are pretending like the whole video was about Tomie when it wasn't. It was about the people who had rallied as well. It was about the lies, the manipulation, the constant harassment. It was about taking apart every bullshit narrative multiple people had been using to try and take me down. Now Mater says he finds the first 15 minutes completely pointless, but he's going to remove context because his whole goal in this is to paint me as a liar, and in order to do that, he needs to remove as much context as he can. At one point we bring up my old Patreon.
So already, the first 15 minutes of this video are completely pointless. Anyway, the only real point I find interesting from the first 15 minutes talking about the Discord drama is that he claims he never promoted his Patreon, which is another lie.
It was never advertised. It was never advertised. It was never advertised. And it was never put out there. If you want to see more stuff like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, head down to the description to pick up some merch if you want to do that, or subscribe to my Patreon, which I am going to occasionally use from time to time if you don't want to be bothered with the Twitch stuff. It was never advertised. So something that I should talk about when regarding the Patreon, originally in the script, I had said that if he had just watched a little bit longer, he would have heard me say, except for like 1 or 2 videos. I remember saying that, but I couldn't find where I did say that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that I didn't say except for 1 or 2 videos. Maybe it was one of those things where I like said it in my brain or whatever, because the reason that I was stuttering throughout that entire thing is because I was pissed off. I had anxiety. I didn't script it or anything like that. So the truth of the matter is that yes, that I didn't lie about the Patreon. I just misspoke, and that is on me. That's probably something that I should have clarified. But yes, the Patreon was advertised, but only for like, I don't know, maximum 5 videos, maybe. I wasn't really making videos at that point. If you go to my old YouTube channel, this is, or not my old, but you go to my Debarred channel and you go through, I tried searching Patreon to see where I might have placed it. but it says no matches. So this is also something that's very important because later on I'm going to mention how many of my old videos Dipshit McGee watched. But in order to find where I would have, it wasn't in any descriptions as according to this anyway, because I'm sure it would show up if it was. But in order to find the clips that he found, he would have had to watch videos that were posted, I mean, literal like years ago, because I don't think I even made the Patreon, or I don't think I started trying to advertise the Patreon until I had gotten my editor, which started around this video. So it would have been in one of these three where I first started advertising the Patreon, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't really feel like clicking through, and it would have ended by like here or even here. So I didn't want to get accused of lying again. So I took the time to go through and click some of the videos. And it turns out that this video doesn't advertise it. These two do. And then this one doesn't. Now he had a clip in there that is not from these videos that I could tell that advertised the Patreon. So I don't know, because one of the ones that he put in there was like, I had my old Yeti. So I don't know which here had the Patreon in it. But what I can tell you is that literally it ended by this point. Like it ended by this video. And it did not start until maybe not even these. This. So literally, if you just click through these videos, you'll see that it's 1, 2, like I said, maximum 5 of these have the Patreon advertised, which means that it was very obviously me misspeaking instead of me just outright lying. So again, this is very disingenuous because he only shows 2 examples, and I believe because there are only 2 examples of it being advertised. But the entire point still stands. Of the 2 places that I could find where it was advertised, their totals 150 views. Like, okay, sure. My point still stands, though, that nobody ever donated to that Patreon. I still show hard evidence of that, and that's still the point of that. And I'll talk about Scripted Kaiser. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The reason the first 15 minutes of that video is a recap of the situation is because I have even more evidence to showcase lies, including screenshots I didn't have before, a more thought-out debunking, and a statement from the mod involved. This is important because the video was about disproving the allegations against me. Anyway, at 17:33, Mater once again makes the claim without evidence that Tomie never sent the information to anyone else, but he also leaves out something very important. See if you can catch what it is.
But I'm not gonna dive too deep into it because it's just besides the point. He then goes on to talk about Tomie for around 4 minutes, where he essentially wants people to think that he has evidence to back up the claim that Tomie caused harm to Kaiser by sending Kaiser's personal information to people.
He had multiple people he was going to hand my information to, and he was more determined than ever to crack this story open. Essentially painting my genuine concern and anxiety for my personal information being handed to people who can use it to harm me, and as of making this video have already used it to harm me by posting publicly the full names of people like my 70-year-old granny.
Now, not only did Tomie never send any information to anyone besides me, and I have not shared it with anyone, and even besides that, the information was just his public name and 1 phone number. But also the account he shows here, which he didn't even blur the name of, by the way, even though he's saying they're a horrible person and doxing him and that he's scared for his life, but he didn't blur the name out. But anyway, that account did actually tweet out Kaiser's information, but they were the one that contacted Tomie with it in the first place. So how could it be Tomie that caused this to happen when this account reached out to Tomie with the personal information of Kaiser? Obviously, this account acted on their own, and blaming Tomie for it makes literally no sense.
Did you catch it? Mater is using what we call hindsight knowledge. The public knowledge that the evil resident was the original one to leak my information to Tomie was not known by anyone until after my video had already been released. All I had at the time was Tomie saying in the video he was going to hand my information out to multiple people, him posting my private Facebook account to Twitter, and then a rando I had never seen before posting the information to my friends and family. Now you tell me, with only those 3 things available, why would I not assume that it was one of the multiple people Tomie had already said he was going to give my information to? You see how dishonest and disingenuous this all is? You see how manipulative this is from Mater? He knows that this information did not come out until after the video was posted. He knows that logically, with the information we had available to us, that was the only logical conclusion. He knows this, and yet he frames it as if the Google Doc from Tomie exposing his DMs with the evil resident were public before my video got published, when in reality, they were published almost a full day later. I published that video on October 29th at around 6 o'clock in the evening, according to YouTube Data Viewer. And Tomie would not publish his Google document until 2:13 in the afternoon the next fucking day. This is very important because just like the Facebook link, this small bit of research would lead people to vastly different conclusions than they have already decided to paint of me based on the video that they are currently watching.
Kaiser then goes on to spend over 40 minutes justifying him making fun of a random person's gameplay, which again, what does that have to do with anything? I thought we are here because there are serious doxing allegations at hand.
It has to do with exposing the lies of the people accusing me of false shit! You know, the thing that I straight up said in the video, he also completely changes what that section is, and guess what? Removes all context. The part about Ryan Gesture was not, hey, I could make fun of this guy's gameplay, as that's not even what was made fun of. It was this entire comment from Ryan claiming he was allowed to post nudes in my Discord and that I bullied him before sicking my mods on him, wherein he said I bullied him, is a lie. The section also contained chat logs showing no mods ever attacked him, and also that he never posted any nudes in my server that I supposedly allowed. That section was disproving very serious allegation and showcasing how the whole fucking thing was a lie. He then goes on to briefly talk about the Jason situation.
Now, I wish I was making this up, but he then spends almost an hour talking about videos from a channel with 12 subs and less than 50 views, trying to disprove them. And these videos, if you watch them, they were obviously made by a severely mentally ill person. Yet Kaiser wastes almost an hour trying to debunk them, even though no one took them seriously in the first place. Now, after 1 hour and 50 minutes...
This is a huge part of my video because it was Jason's videos that were getting constantly spammed in my inbox. It was Jason who went out and harassed my friends. And Jason self-admitted it was because of what Tomie had said they did all these things. Mater attempts to downplay this by saying Jason only has 12 subscribers and is, quote, obviously mentally ill, but that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that there were incredibly serious allegations in those videos. Those videos were being used as ammo against me. That person harassed my friends. Hell, I even state in the fucking video why I'm going over these videos. But something that I just thought about that I didn't think to bring up before is some people might question why I'm even taking the time to sit here and go over Jason's videos. And the reason for that is, one, like I said in the beginning of this video, to showcase the type of people that Tomie surrounds himself with and Tomie utilizes to make his false claims. And number two, it's because Jason has been adamant at every chance he gets that these videos are some kind of higher form of evidence, that he has some sort of proof of the allegations levied against me that I am a groomer or a pedophile or anything like that. But these videos, as you've seen so far, have no proof. And spoiler alert, the last video will equally have no proof of his claims. The last video, in fact, makes him look exactly like the liar that he is. But my point is that throughout this entire thing, I'm responding to these videos because I know that if I didn't, when making this video, Jason would continue to rally and perpetuate that I am ignoring his videos, when in reality, for the longest time, I didn't even know they existed. The truth of the matter is that Jason is an actual clout chaser. All he cares about is his videos. That's all he gives a damn about. He always continuously perpetuates his videos. He says it in Discord servers. He says it in comment sections. I'm sure he says it on Twitter if he has one. I don't know. I haven't seen it on Twitter. But every time I've seen his name pop up in regards to the situation, it's been about his videos. All of his videos. He wants clout. He wants me to respond to his videos. He wants me to make this because he wants somebody, anybody, to pay attention to. As a quick aside, I would learn later that Tomie apparently sent Jason's nudes to Jason's mother, and that Jason and Tomie were in some sort of who's gonna dox the other first war. And when I found out about the doxing, I banned Jason from my spaces where Jason went off the fucking deep end, posting themselves threatening me with guns, using various slurs, and threatening to kill themselves and put my name in their suicide note. So for those of you keeping up, Jason's apology that I acknowledge didn't mean jack shit, and Google Drive pertaining to Jason has been updated to contain this new evidence. In any case, the part about Jason had a purpose in discussing the months of harassment I had been put through. So once again, removing context in order to paint me as some sort of, I don't even know, honestly. Was this an attempt to make me seem crazy or shady, or I just can't figure out why you would just blatantly pretend like this video was only about Tomie when I never said it was, and that the rest of the video did not fit the purposes of the video, which was discussing and exposing the months of harassment levied at me. What's even the point of doing this, Mater? I also find it absurd how you criticize me for wasting people's time in my video, but the first 5 minutes of this video is you insulting me and spreading blatantly false information, then spending nearly 4 minutes yapping about a link you never clicked, and now you're going over parts of a video you're claiming are irrelevant. I'd say it's for that sweet, sweet ad revenue, but this video couldn't have ads when you posted it, so maybe your watch hours needed help so you could reach the partner threshold? I don't know. Anyway, on to the meat of this section.
Kaiser finally gets around to talking about the situation that actually matters, the alleged doxing by horror Tomie. He starts it off by claiming that Tomie only holds him to a ridiculously high standard and has never made a Google document on anyone else.
I should also point out, like I did with Jason, that Tomie has made no attempt to create a doc around any other adult content creator. He has held no one else to the scrutiny he has me. As we have already shown, it is because he has a predisposition to not liking me.
Which is hilarious, because Tomie is literally known for making pointless documents about people. He literally made a document about a Dead by Daylight predator called Flickmaster a week before this all went down. So again, obviously untrue statements by...
Oh my god, it's time to take things out of context again. You'll notice that in the clip, Mater forgot to point out the part where I said, just like Jason, and that's because I was referring to a very specific type of scrutiny, the horny posting. Within the Jason section that Mater says doesn't matter, I bring up how both Jason and Tomie hold me to the scrutiny of horny posting, acting like I'm some sort of monster who's posting 18 plus content on my clearly labeled 18 plus Twitter. Now here, I'd like to take a small break, as the main complaint of both Jason and Tomie is I post, like, and sometimes retweet NSFW stuff on my 18 plus Twitter. However, there's hypocrisy involved. On Twitter, there is a shirtless man in a bow tie who streams DBD. A couple of DBD creators I follow also post lewds of themselves on their Twitter. But for some reason, I, the conventionally unattractive person, is the one that you have a problem with doing the same thing. I am the singular target. You'll find that this complete lack of credibility is something that is prevalent between Tomie and Jason. Of everything they have tried to do, they have tried to expose me for doing the exact same thing that multiple other people have done. But because these multiple other people are conventionally attractive, they don't care. Because they personally find these people hot, because they personally want to harm me and only harm me, they will not bring these other people up, and instead will lambast me and act like I have some sort of unique responsibility among the masses that other people do not. Tomie never made a doc about any of the other DBD creators who lewd post, or about the guy who streams shirtless in a tie who's also in the DBD community. That's why I started off that clip with just like Jason, but once again, Mater removes that context. I think I understand now. You pretend like the video was only about Tomie and claim the other sections had no relevance because you wanted people to only go to the section about Tomie, and if they watch the rest of my video, they might catch on to the fact that you're full of shit. Crazy.
Kaiser.
Tomie is a deranged and disturbed individual, lashing out at everyone who does not shower him with praise, falsifying narratives and making passive-aggressive videos that do not tell the real story. He cares not for evidence or even the truth, only to hurt as many people as he can.
This is again very disingenuous, because if Tomie really didn't care about evidence, he would have just dropped a video framing you as a sexual harasser.
He did. Tomie made that video because he wanted people thinking that I'm a sexual harasser. He could have put out a call on his Discord asking his American friends to call the restaurant. I mean, for fuck's sakes, Jason is American and was involved with Tomie closely at the time. It would have taken nothing to ask Jason to call the restaurant. Actually, this isn't in the script, but now that I think about it, you mentioned later that you knew Tomie before this all went down. You knew who Tomie was because Tomie approached you about the Google Doc, which you admitted was full of shit, which again, I'm going to give you that credit. But, why didn't Tomie just come to you? Why did he have to make a full video stating this thing? The reason is because he wanted people to think that's what I was. But Tomie didn't do that. He knows damn well that anyone who hates me already would take that bullshit claim and run with it. In fact, he makes sure to point out in his video that if he can prove the sexual harassment allegations, that it would somehow prove all the other shit he's ever said about me, which it wouldn't.
Because obviously if this is the case, all of the stuff that I've documented, all of the shit that's going on, will suddenly be a lot more valid, and a lot of people won't just see me as someone who's attacking Kaiser, but that my...
But he desperately wanted this to be another claim on my name. If he cared about evidence, he would have actually found a way to confirm it without making the fucking video, putting something like that into the world. In fact, if he cared about evidence, the original doc would have never been made, and I would not have suffered months of harassment. If Tomie gave a shit about reporting the truth, I wouldn't have to be sitting here on a Sunday afternoon telling my friends I can't game with them to debunk your bullshit. I wouldn't have spent the last 2 months dealing with people telling me to kill myself, you sack of crap. If you cared about evidence, you wouldn't be sitting here removing every bit of context you can from every sentence I speak. Information. And by the way, just because you're claiming that you're going to delete everything and quit, it doesn't mean I won't stop pursuing legal action.
And this would be a massive waste of everyone's time, since Kaiser would obviously lose in a court of law, since Tomie never made any false claims about him, and he never doxed Kaiser either, as I have proven in this video. So I really hope Kaiser doesn't go through with this, especially since Kaiser and Tomie are both broke people that live with a parent. So why would any one of them be willing to waste money like this?
I would be pressing charges, not suing him. What the fuck are you talking about? Posting people's private information is illegal.
Now he then again comes up with another argument to confirm that Tomie doxed him.
Just wants to make other people suffer, as is proven by his actions. Tomie endorses people, not only leaking my private information, but the private information of the people in my lives, such as my mother, my 70-year-old granny, people who I haven't spoken to in years, and more.
Now this is absolutely disgusting, because in my opinion he's trying to paint Tomie as a doxer here.
This is disingenuous by you, Mater. I said straight up that Tomie posted my personal information, which is true. And then I said, which led to other people posting my personal information, which is also true. And also, let's not forget that you literally admit to Tomie giving you my personal information, which is doxing, and posting my personal Facebook to Twitter is doxing by its very definition. If anyone is disgusting here, it's you. You are the disgusting one. This entire video has been nothing but a giant personal attack on me, using false information, removing context from literally everything, and being just a general dickhead towards me. You make light of my abuse, my mental issues, my weight. You carefully choose what you're going to ignore so you can make my words seem like blatant lies, but at the end of the day, it is you who is lying.
But the doxing screenshots he shows are the ones of the random Twitter account that we've talked about earlier, and this random Twitter account has been criticized by Tomie, so saying that he not only supports this doxing, but also that he's responsible for it makes literally zero sense. Kaiser is blatantly misrepresenting Tomie's actions.
Again, this is information we received after the fact. It was not until the next day when I released my 2.5-hour video that Tomie would release a document showing the conversations between him and the evil resident. Pretending like I had these messages before I made my video is disingenuous. It's lies at their best, and at worst, it's gross negligence to not check when the information became available to the public. It's easy to say this shit in hindsight, but the problem here is regardless of all of it, it is still Tomie's fault this shit happened. It was still his encouragement. It was still his relentless pursuit of coming after me. It was still Tomie who caused this to happen. Had he not been overly intent in ruining my life and trying to take me down, then this entire situation could have been avoided. He wants me to be hurt. He wants the people in my life to be hurt. He's going to cause physical harm in any way he can, and he does not care about the consequences.
And honestly, if anyone here has legal grounds to sue the other person, it would have to be Tomie, because what evidence does Kaiser have to back up these statements? None. It is literally just slander and people are eating it up, which makes me kind of upset. Kaiser created this whole video focusing on irrelevant Discord and Twitter drama and other smaller mentally ill people whose arguments he could easily disprove to distract from the fact that he had no actual proof that Tomie doxed him and
except Tomie saying he did.
I've already found multiple Americans who are willing to help me fucking find the story, and they are people that I trust.
And him doing it on Twitter in front of everyone. Yeah. No proof at all. Let me ask you something, and I don't expect an honest answer, but I want to ask this anyway. If my entire purpose with the 2.5-hour video was to only attack Tomie, why would I even make it? before that video, I had more than enough proof of his actions. If I wanted Tomie to just be exposed for the doxing, I already had 2 videos showcasing that he did. I didn't need to make another one, but I did, and it's because it was for a lot more than just Tomie. There is only a section of that video dedicated to Tomie, because Tomie is only a section of the harassment I was receiving. While he was the mastermind behind it all, while he was the one manipulating people, constantly talking shit about me in Discord voice chats, because apparently I live rent-free in his small fucking brain. Whatever the case may be, Tomie was not the only one hurting me, but he was the reason many people were trying to.
Completely lied about his Facebook. It is literally all just a massive lie, and it really pisses me off that literally everyone involved in this just willingly believed Kaiser without verifying anything.
And you know what pisses me off? How your entire premise of this video is hinged upon a single Facebook link that none of you clicked. And as a result, I have had to deal with weeks upon weeks of harassment. No one thought to verify your bullshit, and now I have had to suffer. I have had to deal with the problems. I have had to be put through hell in a handbasket because Mr. I don't want to spread negativity and just my opinion over here had to go and make a video all because he was jealous I'm blessed to be able to make content and focus on my dream and he isn't. Fuck you, Mater. Actually, honest to God, fuck you. To sit here and act as if you're high and mighty, the true judge of everyone else, to put yourself upon this pedestal and act like you aren't guilty of the very things you're accusing me of, is sick. Fuck you.
People have doxed horror Tomie and bullied him off the platform over completely false allegations, and if you—
Who doxed Tomie? Show me. I will ban them if they are in my community. I'm not saying no one did. I'm just saying to show me who did it. You know what I'll show you, though? Tomie telling people to dox him.
Also, if you want to dox me, here's my face. Look, I'm beautiful. I'm very, very beautiful.
Now, as I've said before, if I see people doxing Tomie or threatening to, they will be banned. I did it to Jason once I saw it, and I'll do it to anyone else. I was incredibly clear about all of this. But so far, you have shown no evidence of Tomie being doxed and harassed. Meanwhile, I have evidence of Tomie doxing me, which led to the doxing of my family and my mother being harassed because of it. You're now the one making claims with zero evidence. Not surprising, however, seeing as how you have to falsify all the other evidence you have.
You were one of the people attacking Tomie. You owe him an apology, because he never doxed anyone, and also, unlike Kaiser, he never has directly lied about anything in this situation either.
Wait. Never has directly lied about anything in this situation? Okay, hey, remember when he said he had my address and phone number?
They basically messaged me with Kaiser's full information, address, name, all of this really fucking creepy shit.
And then both you and the evil resident said he didn't?
It was me. Now, this dox wasn't really a dox, it was just Kaiser's real name, which anyone can find by going onto his Instagram, which he links under every new video. He even linked it in all the videos where he talks about quote-unquote being doxed, and the phone number of the restaurant manager he used to work with Kaiser. And
then he told other people, like his Discord, that he didn't? Never directly lied? Whatever do you mean, Mr. Mater? Unless, just like 99% of this video, you were also directly lying about this too. Mater then goes on to downplay the kind of shit Tomie did, saying all Tomie had was, quote, a bad temper.
So just cause Tomie has been exposed in leaked screenshots for having a bad temper and cutting his so-called friends off randomly, that doesn't mean that you can dox him and ruin his entire YouTube career because of it. So now,
in reality, Tomie is a manipulator, a pathological liar, someone who went out and made a whole Google document without even bothering to confirm any of the evidence. Hell, within the document itself, he even acknowledges there is no evidence for the shit he's spewing. And when I made my video on said document, not only did he not apologize for making the document where he blatantly lied, and I disproved the testimonies of the people he had gotten, he doubled down on it with a bullshit Twitter thread, pretending like no context of the situation existed. He manipulated people like Jason. Here in this tweet, you can see Tomie is harrowing that fucking drawing of a rabbit in a bikini that Jason kept going on and on about as some sort of weird sex thing, when it is, in fact, just a drawing of a rabbit in a bikini. It's just a cute, dumb little drawing, but Tomie doubling down on his lack of evidence for the claims he propagated, and let's not forget, he fucking doxed me! Saying, oh, because Tomie has a temper and he was a bad friend doesn't mean he should be bullied and doxed. And while I wholeheartedly agree he shouldn't be doxed or bullied, him being a shithead to people was not the sole reason behind people being pissed off at him. And you pretending like he didn't do all of these things is just embarrassing. At the end of the day, I have actively encouraged over and over again to not go after Tomie. But you cannot sit here and pretend like I did not have a right to defend myself. Like I did not have a right to say what Tomie was doing. This entire situation is like if you were getting slapped by someone and then they called some other people over to slap you. And then you said, hey guys, these people are slapping me to an audience. And then you were like, don't slap them back. Just understand that they have a tendency to slap people. And then you go off and you're like, well, why would you send everyone after them? Why did they slap me to begin with?
Me as a doxer for leaking his personal Facebook, which was never personal to begin with. He publicly promoted it over 80 times in videos that gained over 13,000 views total.
And just in case anyone has any doubts that Mater is claiming the Facebook link leads to my personal Facebook and he's not just implying it, here's him straight up saying it does. This is him admitting that this whole fuckhead of a video was because he couldn't be bothered to click one fucking Facebook link. Remember in the beginning of the video when Mater claimed this was all just his opinion and he wasn't making any straightforward claims? Well, that's obviously bullshit, because here he goes again, making an allegation with false evidence. See, this is far worse than having no evidence. He's faked evidence against me. He has falsified the things he claims are evidence against me. He has removed context from everything he could and quietly not addressed the things he couldn't.
Two ways of thinking here. Either Kaiser just really hated Tomie, which would be understandable because Tomie obviously did not like Kaiser either, and Kaiser saw an opportunity to get rid of a content creator who was openly criticizing him.
I didn't hate or even dislike Tomie. In fact, I don't even give a shit about Tomie. Even now, I don't even think about him until all this bullshit situation gets brought up. After the doc, I blocked Tomie on Twitter and moved on with my life. I tried my damnedest to live a normal life making content. I thought it was all over and my life would go back to normal, but it was Tomie who kept talking about me in voice chats. It was Tomie who kept trying to get people to turn against me. It was Tomie who had the vendetta, the personal grudge. While I was trying to move on from the whole situation, it was Tomie who hated me, and the feeling wasn't mutual. Tomie wasn't and still isn't important enough to hate. He wasn't important enough for me to give a shit about. Tomie is not worthy of my hatred. Or my distaste even. He's a waste of space to me, and I'd been perfectly happy to never hear his name or speak about him again. Saying I saw an opportunity to get rid of Tomie is bullshit. He's not worth that much damn effort to want to get rid of. It wasn't until he already posted a danger to me and my family that I said he didn't deserve his platform.
Or Kaiser did this as a way to stop Tomie from actually calling his former workplace and possibly finding out that he did in fact sexually harass his co-workers.
The second claim is the same one Tomie made, and you'll notice how these being the only two options hinges on that fucking Facebook link.
Now, I'm not gonna state which of these theories I personally believe in, because I don't want to get, like, legally slapped, but I will say that I don't think there's any other explanation that makes sense. Kaiser either just hated Tomie, or he wanted to cover up his crimes. There would simply...
Or, I did it because Tomie doxed me, and the only reason you're claiming these are the only two options is because you lied through your fucking teeth about the Facebook link. Then he says this, and we will get to see the real reason this video was made, or what I assume to be the real reason this video was made.
Be no other reason for Kaiser to do something as malicious as faking his own doxing. I know a lot of people are now gonna say, well, Mother Welon, you received the phone number of the place. Couldn't you just find out yourself? And I thought about this for quite some time, but I figured I would give Kaiser the chance to clear his name first. Because I personally have never received the allegations, so it wouldn't be really my place to try and discover the truth. I mean, if someone sends me credible evidence after this video, I might. But as things stand, I really don't think I should. So Kaiser, if you're watching this, I'm giving you the opportunity to clear your name by just calling the place yourself and confirming with the manager, who you already know, so it wouldn't be an invasion of privacy, that you did in fact never sexually harass anyone. Then the allegations would be confirmed as false, and we could all go home. And this is what Kaiser should have done from the get-go, by the way.
Now we get to it. See, in the beginning of this video, Mater says he is going to give me the chance to, quote, redeem myself. If this entire video is being built upon the foundation that I falsely accused Tomie of doxing and you had supposed evidence of that, then the question becomes, how could I possibly redeem myself in your eyes, as if I give a fuck what you personally think of me? And your response to that is by telling me to call my old restaurant? I thought the whole point here was that I lied about Tomie doxing me. What does that have to do with anything? I think, and it may not be true, this entire video was a ploy. One by Tomie and Mater to try to get me to call the restaurant myself because they already tried and realized it's illegal in the US for managers to provide the information to people. Once they realized there's no way for them to confirm or deny, they would make a video trying to get me to, quote, clear my name. Which, by the way, I already did by confirming that there is no manager by the name of Andrew at my old restaurant, but this offer puts me in between a rock and a hard place. Either I dox myself by allowing the name of the restaurant and my old manager to be said, or I call them, bleep out the names of everything, and people accuse me of falsifying the call, or I don't call and people claim it's because I'm too scared for the truth to get out. No matter which option I go with, I'm fucked, and Tomie and Mater know this. But thankfully, I already have proof that the person who originally made the allegations lied directly to Tomie's face. Once again, let's bring back the Evil Residents Discord account, or one of them, according to them. They came in after my 2.5-hour video dropped and said, quote, "Dear Kaiser and everyone involved, I want to sincerely apologize for my recent actions. My intention was to address and expose serious issues of grooming and harassment. However, in the process of doing so, I became the problem myself by publicly sharing personal information and involving your family, which was inappropriate and hurtful. Upon reflection and discussions with certain individuals, I realized that I misplaced my trust with Tomie and handled the situation extremely poorly. I deeply regret any distress or discomfort my actions have caused on everyone. I am committed to learning from this mistake and ensuring that the actions do not occur again. Therefore, I am retiring from hunting groomers off the internet and further will be deleting all information and pictures related. I don't want your forgiveness nor anyone's because I do not in any way deserve it. I am a bad person and I am truly sorry for the harm I have caused. Sincerely, Amy, aka the Evil Resident." Now, I want to just go ahead and make it clear, and you can see it in the screenshot as well, that I did not forgive them. I merely accepted their apology, and this is going to come up later on in this video as well. It's incredibly important to me that you guys understand how important genuine remorse is to me as a person. Not only as somebody who has hurt others in the past with my shitty behavior, but as somebody who has been hurt by people's shitty behavior, I fully believe in the concept that people can change, that people can grow, they can mature, and they can try to be better people than what they are, regardless of the harm people have caused outside of like very serious shit. I'm talking like outside of like actual genuine serious harm, like grooming or rape or, you know, murder or something like that. I believe that people can bounce back from almost anything and become a better person. Now, that being said, you are not owed forgiveness just because you are remorseful. Something that I had to learn a lesson of myself when it came to addressing my past and my actions. I'm not going to lie to you. The person I was at 20 is a person that I would hate today. And they're both me. I was that person. And I take responsibility for the things that I did and the things that I said, the people that I hurt. It's important to remember that you can grow up and you can be better, but people around you don't have to accept that. They don't have to accept your fucking apology. You're not owed that. I accept people's apologies when I feel like genuine remorse has been shown, because to me and for me, it not only makes me feel better because I have a bit of closure on the people who hurt me, but I also want that person to be like me in that way. I want them to learn that it's okay to fuck up, even royally, and that you can come back from it if you try hard enough, if you grow and you mature. So, yeah, I did accept the Evil Resident's apology. And if you're wondering whether or not I gave the Evil Resident's information that I had to the police, yes. The Twitter thread that the Evil Resident posted did go to the police. And a very quick follow-up on that, I just want to, because I know people are going to ask about it. I basically got told, tough titty. This was predicted by a lot of people, but cybercrimes are incredibly hard to convict. Despite everything that I had given to them, all I really had was Tomie's social media accounts, his name, and his country of origin. They basically told me there was nothing they could do. That they didn't know where he was within that country, which, I mean, fair, it's a giant fucking country. I mean, why would they? But yeah, and as far as the Evil Resident's concerned, they couldn't pursue legal action there either, because not only was the Twitter account deleted, but even if it wasn't, there really isn't any information about who the Evil Resident is. So yes, even before this apology, the Evil Resident's information had been sent to the police. And while I would have gladly accepted the Evil Resident's apology regardless, I still would have wanted to see them go to jail because they committed a fucking crime. Just, again, as if somebody would rob my store. I would accept their apology for robbing my store, but I'm still pressing fucking charges. I'm still trying to send you to jail. And the same thing happens with Tomie. I do want to make it very clear that later on in this video, or not this video, but the next video, Mater will try to make the claim that I'm just, like, never forgiving Tomie. But, like, if today Tomie dropped all of his pretentious bullshit, gave me a genuine goddamn apology, and promised to leave me the hell alone, I'd accept his apology. I really would. I'm down for that. I want Tomie to grow up and be a better person. I want him to stop lying on people. I want him to stop fucking treating the internet like it's a war zone. Like, come on, man. Anyway, When I confronted the evil resident in my Discord after Tomie's second doc dropped, I asked them why they lied, and they responded, quote, I would play DBD on VC in their Discord on some of my alts, one that was the same on Twitter, and one other one. One match they came in once just to see who we were, and he went on some tangent about you. I told them what I did in my free time, and he asked me to look into you. This was around mid-July. He told me there was a teenager on the verge of self-harm and a CC that is getting away from it scot-free. I told them that I may give them the what I found because of their platform to expose people, or I would just hold it and give the information to the authorities. After skiing the self-harm on the one account, I decided to do the stupid thing and help them get the info they wanted. I'm very protective of kids on platforms and have been baiting PDF files on multiple sites since I was 14. Again, I know I fucked up, and for that I am truly sorry, but they knew what they were doing too and said things to try and save face in the future. It's also worth noting that there is a claim that Tomie wanted to keep everything out of DMs, so in case it blew up later, he wouldn't catch heat for it, but I don't have evidence of that, which might have been the point. Basically, because Tomie had convinced them that I was sending hate mobs after a mentally ill teenage girl when they couldn't come up with anything to give Tomie, they just invented shit. So, to reiterate, this whole thing started because Tomie went into voice chats bitching about me, of which we have multiple testimonies of that one. If you watch my last video and delve into the Google Drive, convinced a pedophile hunter to come after me. They then lied about what they had found because they couldn't find anything on me, because there is nothing on me, and then Tomie made a video about it because he couldn't contain his overwhelming glee at trying to take me down. Finally, Mater tries to get one more jab at me and then brings up Tomie's age compared to mine, which is irrelevant and yet another example of people babyfying those who do harm.
Well, in conclusion, I think Horror Tomie is obviously not a smart or trustworthy guy, because leaked screenshots did show him losing his temper a lot because he lost a game of Dead by Daylight and throwing people off his podcast and cutting them out of his friend group seemingly at random. But at the end of the day, Tomie is not a failed comedian in his 30s, but like just a kid. Yes.
Tomie is never going to grow up and learn from the things he has done. He will never apologize for the harm he has caused, because why would he when he has people like Mater who are downright excusing and even pretending like his actions didn't happen? Tomie is a horrible person, and I don't hate him for that. I wasn't perfect at his age either, but people held me accountable for the things I did back then. Just a kid wasn't an excuse. You did the things you did, and you should feel bad for them. And also, before anyone says anything, I won't give Tomie's age, but he is above 18, so when Mater and I are calling him a kid, it's because to people our age, I assume Mater is close to me in age, he is, but he's still an adult who's more than capable of knowing the things he did and apologizing for them. When I explode on people who don't deserve it, I apologize. I've done so several times. I attempt to make amends when I fuck up, and I make no excuses and take responsibility for them. Because that is what it means to grow as a person. I wish this video was over, but we still have nearly 2 fucking minutes of this bullshit, so let's go.
As for Kaiser, I know for a fact that he's gonna throw a bunch of buzzwords at me like he did with Tomie. He's not gonna call me a doxer, but I think he'll instead call me like fatphobic, transphobic.
The term buzzword in this context means a word that no longer holds its original meaning and is only used to elicit an emotional response. Funnily enough, in this context, the term buzzword is a buzzword because you are fatphobic. You made fun of my weight on several occasions in this video.
Has almost doubled in size since January of 2024. I mean subscribers and not physical size, by the way. So to summarize, Kaiser is a morbidly obese,
and you bringing up the transphobia here means you were well aware that it is considered transphobic to purposely misgender people, which you do throughout the entirety of this video. But then Mater says the most out of left field thing I can think of that anyone can say about me.
He might use my military background as a way to call me an alt-righter or something.
What the fuck are you talking about? Never once in the history of ever have I ever said that if you're a member of the military or you have a military background that you are part of the alt-right. This has never been an opinion of mine at any point in history. To claim this is just yet another bullshit tactic to try to paint me in a bad light, because how dare I disrespect our service members? In fact, I'm actually very overtly critical of the military-industrial complex for the way that it uses our service members as numbers, resources, and basically cannon fodder. I grew up in the Iraqi war, man. I was like 9 years old when the towers got hit. 9? somewhere around 8 or 9 years old when the towers got hit. I spent the next 20 fucking years watching my family, my friends, my loved ones, people that I cared about and respected enlist in the military so that they could go off to fight in a war that nobody really wanted to be in. And in fact, because I grew up poor in an impoverished neighborhood, I actually watched firsthand the manipulative tactics that recruiting officers do in order to get poor, disenfranchised young men into the military. They convince them that they're going to be able to make money and finally make it out of the ghetto where we were living. And if only they would just give their soul, their body, their life to a war that rich men are waging. I have never once criticized members of the military. I am very active for veterans. I have run a couple of charities for them. And anytime I see a homeless person, I try my best to help them in any way I can, because I truly understand the effect that capitalism has on us. And I truly understand how much the government has left behind those it is forced to fight its war for us. I thank you for your service. I genuinely do. But this is bullshit. To try to fucking put this on me with literally no kind of anything to back that up is just absolutely insane. I can't believe you would put that on me. I can't believe you would even attempt to attach that opinion to me. Fuck you. And that's the end of the first video. Yeah, that's right. In one 27-minute video, I was able to find so many contradictions, blatant lies, dickheaded statements, and more. It's taken me damn near an hour to get here, and we will have a whole nother video basically full of the same shit. I wish I can sit here and say, just take everything in this video, apply your critical thinking skills to the other video, and boom. But no, I just know someone somewhere is going to claim that his second video is the damning evidence video, so let's fucking do this again. As a quick aside, I'm not the first content creator has done this to. I saw on his channel a video from a year ago titled "This YouTuber Says I Am Misleading My Audience," and it has spook and jukes on the thumbnail. Now, I didn't watch the video, nor do I care to, but if you've been called out for this exact kind of shit before and you're still doing it, I wonder exactly how much more you lie about. Anyway, some context for the second video. After I diligently ignored Mater's video, only making an unlisted video and posting them to my Twitter and Discord at the advice of a friend of mine, basically pointing out that Mater's entire video is based upon a Facebook link he didn't click, Mater and several others would spend the next couple of weeks harassing me. He would message me on Twitter asking for a response where I had to block him, then he tried to add me on Discord where I had to block him, then he tried to join my Discord where we had to ban him, and then tried to follow my Twitch where I had to ban him. Afterwards, several other people would come to harass me about it before finally one day someone would come into chat and refuse to drop the subject no matter how many times I told him to, and I would eventually lose my temper as being harassed over and over again for weeks on end about some easily disproven shit was draining me of all my mental energy, and in response, Mater would make this video. Mater Welon starts off by posting a message. "That was never sent to my Twitch!" In the very first frame of his video, he is already lying. I mean, this is just fucking embarrassing. This is the entire chat log history of the person he shows in my Twitch. All 22 messages, and he'll see the message he shows in the beginning of the video was never sent. Already out the gate, he's already painting a false picture, one that is incredibly disingenuous and dishonest, and one I guess he thought I wouldn't be able to point out is false. Imagine the very first thing you do is fake a message in your supposed expose video. He shows my rant about him harassing me and pretends like he's somehow in the right.
After 2 weeks of ignoring my recent video pointing out that he actually faked his own doxing and lied continuously about another YouTuber, Kaiser the Bard has finally responded to the allegations. Well, kind of. He insulted me personally in a live stream and made up even more lies.
Wait, you have an issue with personal insults? That's weird. Hey, remember in your last video how you spent nearly 5 minutes hurling personal insults at me and tried to frame it as some kind of intro, but personal insults are an issue now?
Only that this time, instead of lying about horror Tomie or his own past actions, he decided to lie about me, which is just fucking amazing because it's so easy to disprove. It's like he's serving me up content on a silver platter, so sit back and enjoy this takedown presented to me. And I say this again because Kaiser the Bard has attempted to go after people criticizing him legally before, so I have to be extra careful.
Once again, Mater says I went after people legally for, quote, criticizing me, when the only person I went after legally was the two people who doxed my information. No one was ever been gone after legally for criticizing me. Once again, Mater paints me as some sort of crazed lunatic with a legal hammer running around smacking it down every time someone criticizes. It's just more attempts to discredit me. I do find it interesting he says he can disprove what I say easily when I just spent God knows how long able to show how nearly every sentence in his last video was a fucking lie, but sure. He starts off with a recap and tells yet another fucking lie.
Break it down for you. Essentially what happened is that Tomie, who already disliked Kaiser before, privately received allegations from someone who claims to be an ex-worker of Kaiser's, and this person alleged that Kaiser had actually been fired from his last place of work because he sexually harassed his co-workers, which is why Kaiser can't get a job, and he now claims that he is a full-time content creator despite only making $400 per month on YouTube.
Oh my God, nobody ever said that the reason I couldn't get another job is because I sexually harassed someone. That wasn't in the conversation. There was just an allegation of me sexually harassing someone. And yes, I am a full-time content creator, regardless of the money I make. I do make money doing this, and it does go toward my bills for my house and puts food in my stomach. I donate twice a week to supplement my other income, and my Twitch also brings in between $180 and $250 per month as well. I busted my ass to get here. Meanwhile, your YouTube is built off countless lies, removal of context, and sticking up for someone who would sooner toss you aside the second you upset him than actually attempting to grow as a person. He once again claims the fucking Facebook link thing.
Now, Tomie announced in a video that he was going to verify this allegation by getting someone to call the place Kaiser worked at. Kaiser then responded to this by calling Tomie a doxer and a psychopath, which was already a disproportionate response, but hey, at least I could understand where Kaiser's coming from, because from his perspective it can be seen as an invasion of privacy. However, Kaiser then went off the deep end by claiming that Tomie publicly doxed him by sharing a screenshot of his Facebook account, the same Facebook account Kaiser publicly promoted over 80 times on his channel. Kaiser,
which is interesting because it's the same fucking lie, and you'd think that in the week since his first video he'd go back and like click that link or something. A lie this massive and this damning being so easily disproven is pathetic, and I quite frankly don't know why Mater continues to act high and mighty here. Anyway, this whole recap is just the same lies we've already exposed, so thankfully I don't have to waste any more time on them. But literally everything in this recap, you could just watch that, and then you just go back to the first section of this video and go, yeah, okay, cool. And you watch it and you go, yeah, okay, cool. Like literally, I'm not even kidding you here. It's just literally the same exact lies again.
And I explained why I believe that Kaiser faked his own doxing, and I was glad to read in the comments that I was able to change a lot of people's minds about the whole situation, and I kind of expected Kaiser to immediately respond by calling me like fatphobic or something, but Kaiser actually made the smartest decision of his entire YouTube career. Kaiser did not respond to my video. Now, you have to realize that the whole situation between Kaiser and Tomie was blown up by Kaiser, because Kaiser reacted to a Tomie video that only had around 80 views, meaning that especially if Kaiser is innocent, nothing would have happened had he just ignored it. So I do believe that Kaiser learned from his mistakes and therefore decided to just ignore my video, because Kaiser has had this pattern of behavior of just needlessly responding to every single person that was even remotely critical of him, which was just so unnecessary. In the past, Kaiser made full main channel videos on random people with 12 subs, random fans that he banned from his Discord server, and on random Twitter document with 6 likes. I can confidently state that Kaiser has basically responded to every single tiny irrelevant critical post of him, which makes it even more funny that he did not respond to my video featuring actual evidence of his lies. So he will respond to obviously mentally ill people with 12 subs, but he won't address my video.
No, because your video when it came across my path had less than 200 views and your channel at like 850 subs. I thought this fucking thing would go away if I ignored it. Like you said, I chose to ignore you because I put too much faith in the average person. I thought people would watch your video, go, maybe I should go click that link to see if what Mater says it is. See you're a lying piece of shit, and then move on. But instead, people spent weeks harassing me, including you.
Spoiler alert, Kaiser doesn't do. Now, something that I want to highlight here is that Kaiser is someone who claimed that anyone that has a problem with him can just reach out to him privately. In fact, he criticized Tomie for not reaching out to him in private regarding the sexual harassment allegations.
You could have reached out to me and asked me about this information. You could have done that, but you refused to do that. Just like with the Google Doc, you refused to reach out before you put any of the claims that were made in that document. You refused to get my side of the story on literally anything. Bruh. You could have reached out to me. Oh, I didn't have the show screenshots of you harassing me because you already did. Nice. So the reason I didn't respond to you is because you did not reach out to me in good faith. I can't believe I have to explain this to grown human beings, but reach out to me with claims does not mean make a 27-minute video full of personal insults, blatant lies, disinformation, and more, and then try to contact me begging to have me respond to your fuckhead video. That's not how it works. You already made the video. Had you come to me prior to making the video and asked me prior about the Facebook link, I would have told you to click the fucking thing, and then maybe you would have seen it's not my personal Facebook profile, and maybe, if you were an honest person, this whole thing could have been avoided. You don't get to make videos making claims, then reach out about those claims and pretend like I'm being unreasonable. Why would I want to talk with someone who very obviously means me harm? Why would I give you the time of day when very obviously you are willing to post blatantly false, easily disproven information? Fuck you, bro. You know damn well that you weren't reaching out to me in good faith and only wanted to see if you could push me over the edge.
So I reached out to Kaiser on Twitter, I think 7 days after the video dropped, to check in if he's doing okay and to ask him if he was going to respond to my video, to which he responded by immediately blocking me, which is already kind of a suspicious reaction.
He never asked me if I was doing okay. He only said, "So are you going to respond to my video or just ignore it?" And I don't have the Twitter messages because Twitter wouldn't let me retrieve them. If I go to Mater's profile and click the message icon, it just shows me a blank screen and says I can't send messages to him. And so in this case, I'll admit it's my word against his, but given everything I've shown you in this video, well, you decide who's telling the truth.
But then he went even further and banned me basically on all of his social media platforms. Now the funny thing is that I am somehow banned on Kaiser's Discord server and in his Twitch chat.
Oh, that's because you attempted to join the Discord and tried to follow my Twitch, and I saw your name and instantly knew you were there to cause trouble. What are we even saying? Yeah, so despite making an entire video where I attacked and lied about Kaiser, they didn't want to talk to me. Blah. Like, come on, bro. I refuse to believe you're this stupid. You are this dishonest, though, so I guess that tracks.
Despite me never even typing a message on either of these platforms and my Discord and Twitch accounts not even being linked on my YouTube, so I am low-key weirded out by the fact that he managed to find my accounts on these platforms.
Oh, that's what he means! So I'm writing the script as I watch the second video, but he's right, the accounts aren't linked anywhere. The only way I could ban him is if he tried to join those places. In fact, here's a screenshot of him trying to join the fucking Discord. This is amazing. It's honestly impressive. I'm impressed. How can you sit there and say you can easily disprove what I say about you, then fucking help me prove you harass me across multiple platforms, and then pretend like you don't know how I got your name to fucking do it? Like, actually insane.
Without him blowing up the situation by responding, only around 500 people saw my video, and while I appreciated the support I got from these people and I was happy to see that I changed a few viewers' minds, I still realized no matter what, the majority of the 6k people that saw Kaiser's takedown on Horror Tomie will just never see my video and keep believing that Horror Tomie is a doxer and a liar. And yeah, basically I just had to accept that and I moved on.
And there it is! There it is. Mater did not care about telling the truth. All he wanted was for me to respond so he could get some clout off my name. He wanted people to flood his channel, drive up his engagement, and help him hopefully secure an audience in the future once the whole thing died down and he was able to make videos about other people. He wanted the same traffic I drove to Tomie's channel, the same traffic I drove to Jason, the same exposure they got. He didn't give a shit about telling the truth because by downright lying, knowing I can disprove the shit he said with simple screenshots and videos and like logic, that I'd be tempted into responding, and that response would help him. He then admits that Cinnamations, the one whose fake message he showed at the beginning of the video, is a friend of his, further proving that they coordinated this harassment against me.
Now, Cinnamations is a small-time gaming YouTuber who I consider a friend of the channel, and he hit me up a few days ago asking me if Kaiser had responded to me, and I basically said that I have no idea how Kaiser even feels about my video since he did not respond and he blocked me everywhere. So the homie Cinnamations took matters into his own hands and went into Kaiser's stream asking how he felt about the video, and when I saw Kaiser's reaction clips, I could not believe my eyes, or my ears for that matter, cause he apparently went into a complete meltdown just cause Cinnamations asked about me.
Once again, Mater is pretending like the breakdown, I did have a fucking mental breakdown. I did. But he's pretending like it happened because of one question, because of like one little message that happened, when in fact there were 22 messages from this person, and he continued to bring up a subject I told him to drop over and over and over and over again. And there's something that I want to point out that I didn't really think to put into the script. If you look at the messages, you'll notice these little Illuminati symbols, and I'm going to sound like a fucking crackpot here, but trust me on this. Every time I would get mad, this Illuminati symbol thing would be put in chat. So it's very obvious to everyone who's like knows how to pick up on these kind of things that this entire chat log messages, all of these here, were done in completely bad faith. It was done with the purpose of pissing me off. It was done with the purpose of making me fucking mad. It was done with those purposes of trying to get a rise out of me. All of this was done for emotional manipulation. And to be honest with you, I'm not even halfway. I'm like almost done with filming, with editing this video. I this is one of my in-between edit takes. I feel like I'm going to regret doing this, right? I feel like it's never going to stop. Like, it's literally never going to stop. Like, there's just going to be another fuckhead that shows up. Like, after I'm done with all of this, and everybody with a fucking brain cell is like, yeah, no, Mater is definitely a manipulative sack of shit. And you all abandon him. Somebody else is going to pop up. Someone else is going to fucking pop up and start shit. It just never stops. It literally never stops. And the fact that all of this could have been avoided if people had just went and clicked the Facebook link. Including Cinnamations themselves, because they left a comment on the original video going, "Oh, come on, Kaiser," when literally everything in that video was so easily disproved, it's not even funny. The most amount of work I had to disprove Mater's claims was to go off and post the YouTube data page. I had to go copy paste my link and then go to YouTube data so I can show when my video got posted. So I can show that Mater was using hindsight logic to try to act like I knew stuff that I couldn't possibly know about before it came out. That's the most amount of work I had to do. Everything else was literally just going back into my shit and just literally clicking a link, watching all of the context of the 2.5-hour video. And that's basically it. Literally everything is available to you to literally check for yourself. And you didn't do it. And you want to pretend like I'm the asshole? Fuck you too, dude.
So huge shout out to Cinnamations for unknowingly making this entire video possible.
Saw a problematic video on you and was wondering if you were going to respond to that. What problem? Is it the fucking one with the dude who said my Facebook account was linked? I've already responded to that, man. That's not a problematic video on me. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit harassing sack of crap.
So essentially he responded by just insulting me as a piece of shit human being, which I kind of
Again, with acting like you don't like personal attacks. Homie, you do not get to fucking make a video where the first 5 minutes is personally attacking me and then act offended or act like I'm being unreasonable when I do it back.
Kaiser thinks of me as a chronic liar, yet he doesn't follow this up with any example of me lying. Cause he can't. I had evidence for every single claim in my video.
Well, you've gotten your wish. I'm now making a video showcasing all your chronic lies. I hope you're happy, Mater. I could be relaxing and enjoying my Sunday. I could be streaming or making videos I want to make. I could have spent the past few months blissfully unaware of your existence and finally healing from the trauma I went through this year between Tomie, my ex, and the countless other shitheads of those 3 months, but no. You started this. I've been harassed for weeks now, and I'm fucking tired of it. So now I have to do what I never wanted to do and respond to your fuckheaded videos that people could have easily disproved themselves if they had just clicked a fucking link.
And hypocritical. Now he then went on to allude to the fact that I must be wrong because he already debunked everything in his 2-hour video.
There's an entire video that's called Lies, Harassment, or Lies, Harassment, and Doxxing. Basically just I tell the whole story. There's No, I didn't. Me saying that wasn't in response to your video and saying that the 2.5 hours was disproving your video. It was in response to Cinnamations asking what other allegations. A question, I'll inform you all, was unprompted. You'll notice that Cinnamations chat logs are scattered. I asked him to drop the subject multiple times, of which he continuously acknowledges, but insisted over the course of 32 minutes, he keeps bringing it up, very obviously attempting to elicit an emotional response. He purposefully pushed the buttons, and that's where we are at. Mater went from removing context of my video and the Facebook link to removing context of a chatter and what they were saying in my VOD, which is hilarious because he has the clips of my VOD, so he can't even claim Cinnamations lied to him because the fucking chat is right there in the top right showing the constant poking and prodding. Mater has no excuse for this shit. He continues to chronically take things out of context on purpose to paint him as the better person, and I'm honestly just tired at this point. We still have 15 minutes of this shit.
Despite Kaiser not even mentioning me in his video because it predates my video on him, again, it's just completely laughable. Like, this is a completely absurd statement.
Hate that fucking dude. He literally will not fucking leave me alone. He has already been responded to. He can take his bullshit somewhere else.
So firstly, him stating that I won't leave him alone is very, very strange because he's essentially trying to paint me as a harasser, since he even called me a harassing sack of shit earlier. But I don't know how he could possibly justify calling me a harasser, because I made one video about him on September the 9th, and then I reached out to him respectfully asking if he planned on responding on September the 14th, and other than that, I have not attempted to reach out.
Yeah, you only made one video. Then messaged me on Twitter, then tried to follow my Twitch, then tried to add me on Discord, then tried to join my Discord. When I say I responded to you, I'm referring to the unlisted video I mentioned earlier. Now, I will admit fault here. I had assumed that Mater, being the relentless fuck that he was being at the time, would have people in my Discord or following my Twitter ready to send him anything he could use against me. Now, what I will say is I wonder if he did see this video, given how it disproved his Facebook link claim and basically dismantled the foundation of his video. If he just opted to pretend like he never saw it, it is interesting how it wasn't long after I posted that video, more and more people would attempt to contact me about the first video, until ultimately Cinnamations would come in and refuse to drop the subject multiple times. I wonder if this was the plan all along. Knowing how I'm prone to exploding when I'm harassed, the plan was to pop this up as a response all along and overshadow the first one I posted. But I have no evidence for any of that, or at least I have as much evidence as Mater has for any of the bullshit he spews, so I should also point out that I am not saying that I shouldn't have had better control over my emotions in this situation. I'm not going to pretend like maybe it wasn't, you know, I should have banned Cinnamations the moment I realized what he was doing, because I did realize it before it got too far, and yet I just allowed it to continue, thinking, I don't know, I guess I had more faith that he wasn't trying to do that, but also I need to have better control of my emotions. This is something that I have stated multiple times that I've been trying to work on, is trying to control my emotions. I am just explaining the fact that I had been, it wasn't just Cinnamations, it wasn't just Mater's videos, it wasn't just, it was the constant crap. Hearing about it in my comment section, in my Discord, in on my Twitter, like constantly being poked and prodded with this fucking video until the build up with Cinnamations coming into the chat to be a pain in the fucking ass on purpose. Regardless of the fact that I do take personal responsibility for losing my temper when I shouldn't have, there should still be blame put on the people who are purposefully trying to make me lose my temper so they can make a funny YouTube video out of it. And the truth is too, is that throughout this entire video, I don't put like, I think like half of this video into like my response here, because most of it, like I said, is either stuff I already debunked from the first video, or it's just irrelevant shit. It's just completely irrelevant shit. There's these, you remember what I was talking about the Patreon, how I said I misspoke? Mater tries to pretend like the rant that I went on Twitch when I was like, you know, emotionally exploding and pissed off, something he admits that I was doing. He tries to pretend like that's just going to be full of like logic and explanations, and you know what I mean? Like basically what I mean is that he pretends like you can treat that explosion as a proper breakdown response. And so most of the time, I don't even bother like responding to what he says. Like he points out one point, he says a contradiction where it was like, I said he was butthurt because I'd never responded to him. And he says that's a contradiction. And that shows that the response that I was talking about was blocking him. But that's not it, because I was thinking of the response that I made with the unlisted video. And then when I said he's butthurt that I didn't respond to him, I was talking about the fact that I blocked him on everything. He also, at one point in the video, said something like, oh, Kaiser thinks that every account critical of him is just one of my burners, because I accused Cinnamations of being a burner for Mater Welon. But the truth of the matter is that I accused Cinnamations of being a burner for Mater Welon because I had already banned Mater Welon from my Twitch. So I just assumed that Mater Welon had made another account. Is that wrong? Sure, that's obviously not the case. I didn't know Cinnamations had their own YouTube channel and like I didn't know they were their own person. And to be completely honest with you, yes, I was incorrect in that. But again, I was in an emotionally volatile state. So treating that entire rant like it was some sort of logical breakdown for you to pick apart is just disingenuous at best. And at worst, it's you just being an asshole.
Like 10 minutes of a random stream within the past 3 weeks to addressing my video, then I still don't see that as a response, cause Kaiser has like 4 active viewers on average. Meaning,
excuse you, sir, I average 7.9 viewers on Twitch. I actually don't care about this claim, I just wanted to make that joke. Moving on.
Seen as outright slander. And by the way, I don't want to cause trouble, I want the voices of people who have been unfairly bullied and harassed like Tomie to be heard. That's why I made the video, not cause I wanted to cause trouble. Like Kaiser comes off as extreme.
Is that why you made a 27-minute video bullying me and making out-of-context claims on the basis of a Facebook link you refused to click because you want the voices of the smaller ones to be heard? Let me ask you something, Mater, and I genuinely want an answer here. There's no doubt in my mind you did this all on purpose. I can tell from the way you structure your videos, you're not a stupid person. You lied on purpose. You removed context on purpose. You did all this on purpose. And why? For what? Surely you knew if I ever responded to your fuckwit videos, I'd be able to prove you wrong. Surely you knew I'd be able to clear my name of everything. There's no way you didn't know. I refuse to believe you never clicked that link, homie. I don't think you didn't. I don't believe you watched 3-year-old videos and went back to several-year-old tweets, but you could not be bothered to click a Facebook link. So seriously, why lie? Why do this, man? Why remove context constantly? Why make claims so easily disproven? Why? I genuinely look forward to your answer.
One thing I found especially funny within this whole response is that Kaiser complained about me making fun of him.
Yeah, bro, let's spend 3.5 minutes making fun of somebody and then fucking tell them that they faked their own doxing.
Now, 3.5 minutes is another complete overstatement. In reality, I only really took a few jabs at Kaiser throughout the video. To be specific, I made fun of Kaiser for following up a video giving out relationship-related advice and boasting about how well his relationship is going with a breakup video. And I made fun of the fact that Kaiser has been on a weight loss journey for over 50.
That's not at all what you said. Now you're lying about the contents of your own video? Am I high? Brother, people can go back and watch that video. Here's all the times you insulted me in the beginning of that video alone. I don't know yet.
Personally, I think the funniest thing Kaiser ever did was upload a video of him bragging about how well his relationship is going and giving out advice how to become more friendly with your in-laws, only to follow it up with a breakup video, which is unintentionally hilarious. Because he was always like an emotional mess, or whether he would start laughing like an absolute maniac, but he decided to move in with his mother. This guy is over 30 by the way, almost doubled in size since January of 2024. I mean subscribers and not physical size by the way. So to summarize, Kaiser is a morbidly obese, emotionally unstable man in his 30s who has been on a weight loss journey for over 15 years, that lives with his mother, and he only really got anywhere on YouTube since him living with his mom and not having to work gives him the ability to outperform literally everyone else in the content sphere. So it's no secret that I do not respect this guy. I don't respect him as a man. I don't even see him as a man. And I definitely don't respect him as a YouTuber. 15 years. Now one could say that me saying stuff like this this is unnecessarily rude and distracts from actually disproving Kaiser's arguments, and I understand where people that think like this are coming from, but my counter argument here is that Kaiser himself claims to be a comedian. It's his dream to pursue comedy as a career, and if Kaiser wants to be a comedian, then he needs to be able to take punches.
Oh my fucking god, here we go. Well, you're a comedian, so you should be able to handle me insulting traumatic times of your life and putting you down left and right for no real reason. No, brother, that's not what that means. If you just made fun of me being bald or some shit, I wouldn't have batted an eye. Like, literally, it wouldn't have mattered. But you spent literal minutes making fun of everything about me you could, including my trauma and mental illness. You outright invented claims about my personal life just so you can make fun of them. You don't get to lay this "but you're a comedian" card on the table.
Because Kaiser attacks people constantly, and I'm not just talking about me and Tomie. No, I mean in general. For instance, he had this to say about Dr. Disrespect and people that support him recently.
Like, the only people that are defending Dr. Diddler are people who want to sleep with teenagers themselves.
Now,
there's no way you just acted like that wasn't a legitimate dig at Dr. Disrespect and his defender. No fucking way. Dude, Dr. Disrespect admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately. He admitted to it. This isn't defending Dr. Disrespect, but the fact that you would use an insult against Dr. Disrespect, despite him being a literal admitted pedophile, is weird to me. Like, it's odd. It's a very what does this mean kind of thing. Because I feel like you could have found multiple other, like, examples. Right? I feel like you could have discovered multiple other examples of me insulting like celebrities or something like that. But the thing is that no matter who you really choose, it more than likely, like 99% of the time, would have been someone who's done some fucked shit. And that's because I keep my insults to people who do fucked shit. I don't like to insult people's appearance or things like that. I insult personalities. I insult behaviors. I insult ideals, right? I don't like to throw like physical insults at people. I don't like to say that people are ugly or that they're I don't make fun of their hair or their height or anything like that. So if I'm making fun of someone that is in like a serious way and not like a haha, you're my friend kind of way, there's a very good chance that I am attacking them because their character is shit. And I would hope that you and I can agree that Dr. Disrespect is a piece of human garbage, and the people who defend him are also pieces of human garbage, because messaging minors inappropriately is not a defensible action. Please tell me we agree on this. Don't disappoint me, Mater. He then goes on to randomly talk about my comedic potential, showing two separate forms of humor, saying one is funny while the other is trash. This has nothing to do with anything. I was just confused. I wanted to bring it up.
It's a shame, because despite most of the comedy being absolute trash,
he's like, hey. Yeah, what's up, man? You know you're fat? I was like, yo, bro, do me a favor. You got your phone on you? Yeah, I got my phone on me. Okay, well, do me a favor. Open up Maps and show me where the fuck I am. Oh, well, man, you ain't gotta be rude about it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I think there are actually some bits that low-key are kinda funny.
Chat, you ever said the wrong name during sex, bro? I was hanging out with my ex-wife, man, when we first started getting together, bro. Apparently her name was not Big Steve.
Like, this clip honestly made me smirk a little bit. Like, there's some potential here for him to succeed in comedy, but if changing topics here for a second, there's one key player in this whole conflict who I purposely decided to keep anonymous because I think they are severely mentally ill, and therefore I do not want him to be harassed. Now, that is the person who made the original Twitter account Doxxing Kaiser. You know, the thing Kaiser claimed Tomie supported even though he didn't? Now, that person who publicly doxed Kaiser also went on to publicly dox Tomie, which was a big reason for him deciding to leave the platform permanently. They are the same person who also owned the 12-sub YouTube channel that made videos against Kaiser.
No, they're not! No, they're fucking not! Jason and the Evil Resident are not the same person! This might be the biggest lie you've told. They have two vastly different Discord accounts and different Twitter accounts. The person who doxed me to Tomie is not Jason. You lying sack of shit.
Which Kaiser dedicated the majority of his 2-hour video to. So this person has doxed both people involved and also made over 1 hour of content shitting on Kaiser relentlessly. Yet now they are Kaiser's top donator on Twitch for the month of September, with Kaiser apparently completely forgiving them. So Kaiser is willing to forgive a person that publicly doxed multiple people and attacked him online with multiple videos, yet
I did not forgive Jason. Also, by the way, Jason sent me a lengthy apology, which I publicly posted to everyone on Twitter. I stated flatly in my response to them, not once, but twice, that I did not forgive them and I never would. Now, one thing I want to admit fault on is I told Tomie in a tweet that I responded to last week that Jason wasn't my top donator. I'll admit I forgot about the Ko-Fi because I do tend to be a fucking idiot from time to time. I was only thinking of Twitch, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was wrong. Jason was a top donator on the Ko-Fi. But in any case, Jason has not and never will be forgiven. Even before their complete mental breakdown after I banned them and received the proof of them threatening to dox Tomie, I still was never going to forgive them. Just like I'll never forgive the evil resident. I'll never forgive Tomie. I'll never forgive Ryan Gesture. And I'll never forgive you. I know what it's like to hurt people and not be able to apologize for it. My teenage years were filled with outright sickening behavior that I can never take back. I take full responsibility for what I've done, and I wish I could go back and apologize to everyone I've ever wronged. It was never anything as serious as the shit I've been put through, but it was still bad. And some of the people I have gotten to apologize haven't accepted, which is well within their right. I'm going to get philosophical on you guys here, but I believe in second chances. I believe people can grow and change, and I believe in seeing that through. If Tomie had apologized to me after the video, I would have extended to him the same invitation to join my community and show me he can become a better person. I am more than willing to let bygones be bygones. I can forget what these people, including Tomie, and even including you, Mater, have put me through. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive the relentless harassment day in and day out you've caused. I'll never forgive you lying to your audience on purpose. I'll never forgive any of you for what you've done. But I will make this offer. As of writing this script, you are unblocked on Twitter, and I will unblock you on Discord, assuming I remember. Should you want to apologize, genuinely, I will be waiting to accept it, and I will extend the same offer to Tomie. Both of you have the opportunity to show remorse for the shit you've put me through. Whether you use it or not, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if there's actually a point in bringing Jason up here.
Tomie, who hasn't done any of that, gets painted as a chronic liar by Kaiser. Yeah, after knowing how Kaiser took back the person who literally doxed him just cause they donated some money to him, I honestly believe that Kaiser...
The messages of me accepting Jason's apology happened before the donation, and I outright told them they didn't have to donate anything, and my acceptance of their apology was not reliant on that. Again, this is a public apology that I posted to Twitter, readily available to read at any point in time. You could have easily seen this, and yet you decide to make up further lies to paint me in even further as some sort of dishonest person, and I'm growing tired of it. Again, Tomie had the opportunity to apologize to me, had the opportunity to try to make amends. I would have accepted. Would I have dropped the charges had the police found him? No, because at the end of the day, he's still committed a crime. The same way if someone robbed my store and then promised to be a better person in the future, I'd accept their apology and do everything I can to guide them on the path to being better, but I'd still expect them to serve their jail time. You bitched and moaned and whined that I called Tomie a psychopath for no reason, but here you are with even more falsified evidence claiming all this outlandish shit about me.
Will just change his mind and forgive anyone as long as they donate money to him. And by the way, this person has tried pushing the narrative that I am trying to make the argument that Kaiser is a pedophile in my first video, which I never said once and is just complete. So
what the fuck? So this, if you remember the screenshot that was shown of Jason's YouTube channel that Mater showed and then I've showed several times and everything, this is what it looks like, right? And if you go to it, and if you go to Jason's channel, it still looks like this, right? It still looks the exact same. So this is the person that said that Mater called me a pedophile, which I'll give Mater that. Mater never called me a pedophile. But this is the person that Mater is claiming is the exact same person as Jason, whose YouTube channel he showed. But if you click on this YouTube channel, this is not Jason. This is not the same person. Mater is literally taking Jason, the evil resident, and this rando, and putting them all together in the exact same person to try to make it seem like somebody who donated to me is just doing all these other things that they're not doing. This is insanity. This is the most easy. Like, every time I think Mater makes another claim that is just so easily disproven, he just makes another one that I'm just like, wait, what? And then I go to disprove it, and I just easily disprove it. Like, come on, man. Like, this is just embarrassing at this point. Also, as a quick aside, I just want to point out that Mater makes this whole big thing about, like, hiding who Jason is so that nobody goes and harasses Jason. And very obviously, I don't feel like I should have to state this, but I keep stating it over and over again. Do not attack, harass, dox. Do not go after anyone in this situation. It's literally not worth it to, like, spend your mental energy going after these people. Just ignore them. Just leave them alone. Don't fucking bother. But anyway, Mater tries to pretend like he doesn't want to expose who Jason is, but, like, you literally did that in the last video. And you also reference a 2.5 hour video where it fucking happens anyway. Like, sitting here and pretending like you could just hide who Jason is, especially while you're showing the screenshot of what his channel looks like. Sorry, what their channel looks like. Jason has recently stated that they go by they, them pronouns. And so I would like that to be respected, please, when talking about Jason, if you do. But anyway, the point is that Mater is fucking stupid. That's a little harsh. Mater is being a what's the word I'm looking for? Mater's trying to act like a saint, trying to act like he's better above it all, right? He's like, oh, I'm not going to show this thing of this really mentally ill person, yet at the same time is consistently coming after me for basically being mentally ill. I mean, he says like several things earlier in the video that all he feels count as insults toward me, including my depression, my trauma, everything like that. So like, I don't really know who he's trying to fucking fool here, like who he's trying to like act like he is, but it's definitely not who he thinks he is.
Now, another thing I want to elaborate more on is the call. The call is basically why this whole situation started, and the call is also how this whole thing could end. Now, Tomie said he wanted to call the place that last employed Kaiser in order to ask the manager there if Kaiser really got fired for sexual harassment. Now, Kaiser responded to this by announcing that he would call the place himself, but unfortunately it was too early in the morning for them to be open.
If it wasn't 6 o'clock in the morning, I would call my old boss right now for you. I'd call my old boss right now for you if it wasn't 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that was over a month ago. Have they been closed for over a month? Kaiser could literally call the manager, confirm with him that he quit his job voluntarily, and boom, he would be cleared from any allegations of sexual harassment immediately, which he already stated he was willing to do. And that is truly what I want to happen, by the way. Like, the best thing that could possibly happen right now is Kaiser doing exactly that after watching my video and just clearing his name. Cause I want him to be innocent. I don't want there to be victims, but I cannot look past the fact that his...
Now, he goes over to the call again, but I've already shown why the allegations were a lie. I did try to call my restaurant, but they told me that I would have to call my old boss, and I no longer have her number. Had to put on a fucking shirt for this because, you know, God forbid we just be not fucking irritating. Yeah, I really wanted to, like, just spend this Sunday relaxing. I'm not kidding you. I just wanted to spend this Sunday relaxing and not have to do anything. I just... so tired, man. I'm so tired, brother. I literally am just so tired, but fine. We'll fucking do it. I already explained earlier why I didn't want to do it, but you know what? I just want to cover all my bases, you know? I just want to cover all my fucking bases. Hey, is there?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Oh, actually, I think is gone.
Oh, don't tell me that. Who's there? Who's the manager right now? Could I talk to...
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Hi, Miss. So my name is Joseph Kaiser. I worked there at the beginning of this year, and I'm in a bit of a situation. I don't want to bore you with all the details. I just need one thing for you. Can you confirm the reason I no longer work there? Like, verbally?
I don't have that reasoning, sweetie. You would have to call for that information.
Yes, and I no longer have her number. But like I said, I've already shown that these allegations were lies. I was willing to call the restaurant at the time of making the video, but that's only because I was in distress. That's only because I was frustrated. And to be completely honest with you, like I brought up earlier, either I call the restaurant and dox the name of my old boss and my restaurant so people can find it and very easily find me. It's not hard to find once you know this information. Or I could hide that information and then be accused of falsifying the call, or I could not make the call and then be told I'm trying to hide something. You act throughout this video and the last video as well. You acted like this at the end, that if I had simply made the call, this all wouldn't have happened. But that's not true, because your whole video, the first one especially, was based off of a lie that I lied about Tomie doxing me. It was based off of falsities, ones that you weren't able to back up. Again, if anyone just clicks that link, all they gotta do is click the link. If they literally click the link, that's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. All they gotta do is click the link. I'm just like, this would not have gone away, because you would have still made that whole video. You would have still made shit up. You would have still taken me out of context multiple times to try to pretend like you had a point.
Behavior is so incredibly suspicious. Like Kaiser himself claimed in his response stream that he hasn't seen a day's peace since everything went down.
Like I said, I'm just tired, man. I just have not known a fucking day's peace since that fucking shit happened.
But he will not do the thing that could actually make everything go away. And by the way, I don't really believe that he's getting harassed on a daily basis, because my community is low-key not big enough for there to be a new person bugging Kaiser about this every single day. But I don't doubt the fact that this probably had an effect on him mentally, which makes me question even more why he won't just do the thing that could potentially clear him. Like, we have to look at both possibilities here. If Kaiser was guilty, then the reason for him faking his own doxing would have been to prevent Tomie from actually finding out the truth about the situation. And then Kaiser not being able to find a job would make sense, because he got fired for sexually harassing his co-workers from his last one, so obviously nobody would want to hire him.
The problem with your dumbass logic is that jobs can't tell other jobs why someone was fired either. Are you even in the US? I ask, because your accent is very weird, and I'm starting to wonder if you actually are in the US, because just like Tomie, you seem to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Unknowledgeable about the federal US laws. The entire point of people not being able to call the restaurant to see why I don't work there anymore is that no one can do it. The only people who can ever get that information are law enforcement officers. But here's the problem. They have to be in person. You can't just call someone and be like, yes, ma'am. My name is Detective Fucklesticks, and I would like to know if Kaiser got fired for setting people's toes on fire. Oh, he did? Well, thank you very much. Like, you see, like, that can't happen. You can't do that. You have to be a law enforcement officer, and you have to show up in person. And I'm almost fairly certain you can't just be a cop. You have to be a detective. Don't quote me on that part. But the point is that they can't reveal that. So me not having a job has nothing to do with this claim. It does, however, have to do with the insanely bad job market, the fact that things like ghost jobs exist. And if you spend any amount of time on the internet looking at people talking about their job searches, you will know that right now, as of right now, it is nearly impossible to get a job. It's very hard right now. The job economy is fucking tanked. There are people who have applied to thousands and thousands of places and have received basically no emails, basically no calls. I'm not even kidding you, dude. Look it up. Look up ghost job. Look up it's like ghost jobs or phantom jobs. Look up those things. And then look up people talking about trying to job hunt in the current job market. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. This is a common occurrence throughout the United States. And even then, most jobs nowadays do not call other jobs anyway because they know it's a waste of time. I do YouTube full time because I have the opportunity to achieve my dreams. I'm going through hell, hard grinding day in and day out, living on as little as I possibly can manage thanks to the love and support of my community, which I'm proud of. In the comments section of this video, you like somebody who's making fun of me for only making $400 a month, but at the end of the day, I'm so overtly grateful to my community for helping me get as far as I have gotten, and I'm even more grateful for them for sticking with me while I continue to work through a content crisis on this channel. At the end of the day, I am consistently being supported by people who love and care about me, and I will never scoff at $400 like you and this person have. I will never, ever, ever be ungrateful for the things I have been given. And fuck you for implying that I should. Fuck you for telling my audience that they're not doing enough. Fuck you for telling me that my years and years of hard work have not been there, that I have not, like, put in the actual effort to do this. Fuck you, man. Between YouTube, Twitch, and plasma donations, I actually bring in somewhere around $1,200 a month or so, which has allowed me to pay my fair share in my own house and continue working towards my dream. You have spent an entire 2 videos weaving a fantasy story about me, and if I thought that ignoring the last 3 minutes of this video wouldn't lead to people going, but why didn't you address this? I'd simply leave it there, but there's only 3 minutes left, so let's do it.
Cause then he would have started the whole Tomie beef for no real reason other than wanting him banned from the platform cause
I literally did not start anything with Tomie. Like, what kind of revisionist history is this shit? I'm not going over this again. Is there anything of substance here?
in my opinion, if Kaiser does not change his behavior, he will soon turn into a complete lolcow. He could honestly be a co-host on a lolcow live podcast, since he would be a perfect fill-in for Doxxed Phil, considering he jerked off on stream. Yeah, I neglected to mention that in my first video, cause again, I didn't want to bully Kaiser, but after it released, he took down the video of him talking about jerking off on stream.
No, I didn't.
This is very loud.
Loud?
There it is. Right where it has been since the day I uploaded it. What's the point in this, man? Like, how did people watch this part and then like not go to the channel to see if it was still there or not? Like, what do you mean, man? I just
So now I am mentioning it so that he can't keep it a secret. So yeah, Kaiser the Bard is known within the community for having jerked off on stream before, which is kind of funny considering he openly displays lotion on his desk while streaming. So
Q-tips. Piercing cleansing solution. Jesus fucking Christ, this guy. I don't use lotion or jack off on my desk anyway. Can't believe I have to clear that up, but like I said, I never deleted the video. It's still there and has been there since I uploaded it. But then Mater would have had to play the clip and that would just make him look like an asshole. See, what I mean by this is that if you get the full context of the clip, then it's not exactly what you think it is. Mater frames it as if I just walked on the camera, dropped my pants and just started jorking my penis. Or he does say, forgot to leave forgot to turn the stream off. But again, he makes it seem like I did it in full view of the camera, but that's not it. Here's the full story. Whole setup used to be different, right? So you couldn't see my bed from the camera like you can now. Well, one day I ended stream, I raided out to my boy Ross, and I just got up from the thing, and I laid down in bed. I was in bed for probably about 20 minutes, and I was feeling a little bit frisky, right? So I take out my phone, and I look up whatever porno I'm interested in at the time, and I go at it. And I'm not a quiet masturbator, chat. I'm what you might call a screamer, right? So I go at it, I'm like, right? Okay, and I finish. And then I get up to take a shower, because if you don't shower after you jack off, you're just nasty, right? So I get up to take a shower, and I walk by my computer, and I notice out of the corner of my eye that I can see my whole butt naked ass body in the camera, and I look down at OBS and realize that the streaming button doesn't say start streaming, it says stop streaming, and there's a bunch of chat. What the fuck is Kaiser doing? It's like 7 different people. I ended stream, I deleted the VOD, bro, I thought I was gonna get permabanned. man.
He started masturbating on stream because he thought he had already ended the stream, which proves my point that if Kaiser keeps going like this, he will become a lol cow. Like, Kaiser is a former incel and janitor with an embarrassing YouTube and Twitch history full of pathetic videos, who not only has violent outbursts while playing video games,
God! I hate squads like this! I fucking hate them!
but also immediately resorts to making false allegations whenever another YouTuber criticizes him. He also runs a comedy channel which overwhelmingly features unfunny videos, while also again being in his 30s and living with his mother and masquerading as a full-time content creator, when in reality he makes less money than the average Romanian housewife.
This entire section is done on purpose, by the way. It's meant to dig at my biggest insecurity and that the community might already see me as a lol cow. I was open to about this in one of my videos before this one released.
Kaiser, if you keep going like this, you will eventually be noticed by bigger, more malicious channels ready to just shit on you constantly, and you will turn into a complete lol cow. And I know Kaiser can't be happy about his situation. No 31-year-old overweight man living with a parent can be happy in life. It's a pathetic situation, which is why I honestly encourage Kaiser to just get a real job and try and refocus some of his energy to like sports or even just non-internet related hobbies. Just cause I feel like if he keeps being terminally online like this, his depression, which he is open about, will just get worse and worse, and at the end of the day, I do want this guy to become better, especially if he's actually innocent, but the first step to achieve this is to apologize to Tomie for making up lies about him, and then step 2, actually log in and make content you can be proud of, instead of, you know, drawing Kirby on your disgusting belly and calling that a video.
Also, that Kirby stream is something really close to me, as that was the first time I ever passed 50 subs on Twitch, so like, fuck you, honestly. Actually, this isn't in the script, but I genuinely want to ask real quick, what is it with you and like shitting all over my achievements and like my happiness? Like, it's really funny because you're all like this. Like I said, your bio's like, oh my god, I don't do negativity or whatever. But like every time I'm like happy or I'm genuinely having a good time or anything like that, you just shit all over it. Like you find moments where I'm genuinely happy, like the time where I was having fun with the Alucard add-on or the Kirby painting on my belly, and you're just like, nah, this guy having a good time, not gonna happen on my watch. You're pathetic for having fun. Dude, like, fuck you, man. Like genuinely fuck you. Like, not only did you just like spend these two entire videos making shit up, but you shit all over any good time I'm having. Like, why? I'm beginning to wonder about your mental health. Are you miserable? Are you depressed? It's okay. We're all depressed, man. The world sucks. You don't got to take it out on me, man. At the end of the day, Mater is a sad sack of shit, blatantly lying, ripping context from things, and just engaging in disgusting behavior, insulting my job I've worked hard for, the fans I've worked hard for, and the growth I've worked hard for, saying I only got where I am because I was able to, quote, outperform everyone, but I was uploading daily YouTube videos while I was working at my restaurant job and driving for Uber and donating plasma. I was busting my ass before I ever quit the restaurant, making content I was and still very proud of. While I regret some of the videos, many of them I see as a lesson. You, on the other hand, are pathetic. You constantly twist the truth and falsify facts to get your point across. And I offered you earlier a chance to apologize to me, but I don't think you will. I don't have that kind of faith in you. Seeing as how when another creator called you out for it, you went and just made another video, I fully expect there to be a third one on me. But by this point, it should be fairly obvious to anyone who's actually objective that Mater does not tell the whole truth. He tells half-truths over and over and over again. He lies, he schemes, and manipulates the people watching his videos. I can only hope that this is the video that wakes him up. The Google Drive will be updated with the screenshots and things like that I've shown in this video, including Mater's videos, in case he ever decides to take them down. I don't think he will. I do want to give him a little bit more faith in that. I think that even if Mater, like, admits fault, which I don't know about that one, that he will still keep those videos up and maybe make a video denouncing them or something like that. But in case he does delete them, they will be in the Google Drive, which will be linked down below, along with all of the other evidence from all of the other situations. Other relevant links down there will be things like my unlisted video that I made, so you can see the date when it was uploaded. My 2.5 hour video, so you can catch up on the context of the situation, as well as every other video that I had to make up until that 2.5 hour video. I once again want to reiterate, do not attack, do not harass, do not dox, do not do any stupid shit in regards to the people within this video, especially Mater. Don't go to his channel and comment on his videos and call him a piece of shit, and because that's what he wants, right? He wants people to comment on his channels. On his channel. He wants those videos to get out. He wants them to reach more people. He wants more engagement. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't tell him off. Don't go after him. And just like I said with Tomie, if I see someone doing this shit, if I'm given proof they're doing this shit, they will get banned. They will get banned right then and there without hesitation. Leave these people alone. This is merely to clear my name. That's what this is. Because so many people at this point have attacked me with these fucking videos that I've had to do this. And I didn't want to. I literally just wanted to let this shit be. But you guys won't let me. Nobody will let me. And I wish I had the forethought to take a screenshot of all the times I've been harassed, because in the second video, Mater does claim that I haven't been harassed as much as I said I have. It's on me to not screenshot those encounters. In the moment I see them, I just block the person, delete it, because I just don't want to deal with it. But I mean, if I have to, I'll do it from now on, right? If I have to, I'll just start screenshotting harassments and just fucking putting them in a folder somewhere, I guess. At the end of the day, I just want people, if you do watch Mater's videos, not just the ones on me, but any videos, take them with a grain of salt. Take them with a grain of salt. Look into the shit yourself. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be stupid. Just please, I mean, guys, you could have just clicked a Facebook link and the whole first video falls apart. I mean, for God's sakes, man. Lastly, I want to say that unlike my last few videos where I had to respond to this kind of dumb shit, this one will be monetized. And it will be monetized because if these people can benefit off of me, if Mater can get almost 3,000 views off of me and help grow his channel to over 1,000, so he can monetize those videos, then I will make some sort of money off of responding. I'm sorry. I try to keep, when something's very serious, I try to keep it demonetized because the message is more important. But at this point, no, fuck you. I did not just spend the past 8 hours writing the script, watching his shitty videos, recording, and by the time you're seeing this, editing, just for him to be the one that makes money off of me. I refuse. Yes. And one last thing, if Mater makes a third video, I literally don't care. I don't. My only hope is that you will see what he has put me through these first 2 videos, and you will learn that his third video is probably bullshit. Unless it's a genuine apology, I don't care. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.